let me break down what's going on right now. I'm I'm on the end of a sugar high from eating ice cream and drinking apple juice because I wanted to. Tonight's the last. Tonight is probably the last night I'll be streaming during Pride Month, and it may not go out with a bang, but I'm hoping it'll go out with a smooch. I'm I am about as geared up for this moment as I think I ever will be. So let's get into it. That sure was the intro of all time. It for the game of all time that follows. I don't know who these people are. I literally just stumbled across this game on the store page, and I figured it was probably good. That's I make decisions sometimes. Um, let's just jump into it. Wait, I don't know who's who. Um, but they are both cute. Here's your slices of lemon cheesecake. Thank you very much for your patronage. Um, I can't wait. I also heard this game was approximately 4 to 6 hours of reading. I don't know if that is whose metric of reading it is. Could well be someone who timed the auto button to go, like, hit the auto button and went on the time, and, like, did a timer. I'm gonna get through as much as I humanly can, which, you know, might be part of the reason why I wanted to start early. Okay. I hand the bag over to Mrs. Kimura, who... I'm just gonna narrate in my own voice. I can... Like, I know my limits. Oh, not really, but I know they're not good. Hand the bag over to Mrs. Kimura, who accepts it. The plastic crinkles when she grips it, and the corners of her eyes crease in a motherly smile. Thank you, my dear. I'll look forward to tucking into this later. I've never heard anyone say that. As I'm sure will Miho. This should cheer her up if nothing else. She said she had a bad day at school. Unfortunately, she got into another altercation with Keiichi. Or rather, he got into an altercation with her. Mrs. Kimura rests a palm on her cheek and sighs. I would say that kids will be kids, but Keiichi here really does take things too far. He pushed my Miho off the swings and she has quite a nasty bump on her forehead. It's a good thing she didn't cut herself. What a jerk. I scowl upset on Miho's behalf. So funny that we would... These are the kinds of things we just brush off as adults, but... A few boys like that when I was in elementary school too. They'd pull on the girls' pigtails, rip up their skirts, and throw things at them. They're not, I hasten to add, all at the same time. I would hope not. They were the worst. Same here. Nina, my colleague, pipes up. She toys with the ends of her pink hair, dyed obviously, and pulls a face. I assumed it wasn't because of anime logic, but either way, I vibe with it. Little boys can be seriously horrid. They're like turtle assholes. Oh my. Mrs. Kimura laughs. Should probably watch that tone of yours, Nina dear. I don't mind as much, but your customers might. I wouldn't want you getting into trouble with your boss. Oh shoot, that's a good point. Sorry about that, I wasn't thinking. You never do you? It's rarely polite to bring assholes up in conversation, even if we're talking in a strictly figurative sense, but it seems especially fitting right now. Nina and I, both work at this fancy chain bakery, which is fairly popular among families. The display cabinet is full of delicate little cakes and pastries, tarts, chow buns, and the like. Hang on, let me see how fast the auto scroll goes. These cakes and pastries are all aptly arranged like something from a fairy tale. They come in pastel colors with little rosettes of icing piped up on top of. Barely not enough, but I lost myself there. The rosettes spicy popped up on top of them. They're the sort of desserts that look cute. You'd feel guilty about eating them. They're way too neat and sweet to bear any relation to the particular part of the human anatomy that Nina mentioned. You should think before you open your mouth, Nina. All sorts of nonsense comes spewing out otherwise. Why don't you take a few tips from me? I always mind my manners. Yeah. Nina rolls her eyes. You're so incredible, Mayo. I'm proud of you. Do you want a gold star? Well, if you're offering... I wasn't, being serious. I know, you're such a meanie. Delicate little girl talk type beat. I don't know. I grin to show Nina that there's no hard feelings, then look back at Mrs. Kimura. Hope this cheesecake cheers Miho up anyways. I'm sure it will. This bakery is Miho's favorite and mine. Your cheesecakes are to die for. If you've not met a mother who speaks this way, I was gonna say, you're probably not looking hard enough, but also... You know what? Yeah, let's go with that. Oh yeah. Sorry, or... I forget where I was in the conversation. Not literally, I heard. Not quite. I might be getting on in years, but there's still life in me yet. Mrs. Kimura laughs. She's a jovial sort of woman, and I rarely see her without a smile on her face. Those kinds of people... Those kinds of people wearing smiles on their faces does more than you think. Does more than you think. Mrs. Kimura's daughter, meanwhile, is the exact opposite. Miho is a shy, retiring at such a young age? My goodness. The laws around that have changed since I last looked at it. That was the end of the bit, because I don't know enough about that stuff to be saying things like that. Miho's a shy, retiring girl who might as well be super glued to her mother's side. She's forever hiding behind Mrs. Kimura's back whenever she accompanies her to Blue Mountain. I think Miho might be afraid of Nina, what with her dyed hair and her manicured nails. But no, that can't be right. Miho hides behind her mother's back when I'm working with Sakura too, and Sakura is distinctly non-threatening. Maybe Miho's afraid of everyone, full stop. Is that why she gets picked on at school so much? Thank you for asking after Miho, Mayo. It's good of you to take an interest in her. I'm sure Miho will be happy to know that you're thinking of her. You know me, I'm a sucker for gossip. Even playground gossip? That's the most interesting kind. You'd best come back and tell us if that Keiichi kid got what he deserved. His teacher should give him a stern talking to, or I'll be pissed. Nina sounds unusually fired up. She acts languid most of the time, like a cat, but she springs to life when confronted by the injustices of the world, particularly those aimed against cute, innocent kids like Miho. I think Nina might make for a good superheroine. She'd definitely be the Pink Ranger. Keiichi's really an ass. Nina catches herself before she can utter another expletive. I think you're a little late for that. That was a close call. I mean, he's most assuredly annoying. He's quite the handful, yes. I do wish his mother would discipline him more. Have you thought about talking to her? I've tried, but I've not made much progress. She imagines every slight against her son is a direct attack upon her. It's rather tiring, but... Oh, there I go again. Rabbiting on. I'm sorry for bothering you, dears. I'm sure you have more important things to attend to. It's fine. It's been a slow day. Mrs. Kimura is the only person here other than Nina, and she doesn't count. She's in the customer. Customer rights are in the pits right now. You're not a bother. You're not a bother at all. I still flubbed that. I appreciate it, but I really must get on. Tonight's dinner won't make itself. Oh yeah, good point. I guess I'll see you later then. Later. Goodbye, girls. I'm sure I'll come back soon enough. I'll be back soon enough. I can't keep away from Blue Mountain's cheesecakes for the life of me, though it will probably do me some good. Laughing, Mrs. Kimura turns on her heel to leave. I watch her depart, the bell above the door jingling as she pulls it open. With Mrs. Kimura gone, Blue Mountain feels decidedly less homey. Oh. It's strange. I ponder that there are no other customers around at this hour. This branch of Blue Mountain is close to the train station, which means it's almost always busy. Most customers step into the store and place their orders in double quick time, all hurry, hurry, hurry. They glance at their friends while I'm bagging up their tarts and cakes, and they throw their change down on the counter like they've roasted soybeans in the middle of a setsubun. Setsubun? I don't know what it is either way. My lack of culture is showing. What gives? I put my cheek up with one hand, my elbow resting on the counter, and sigh. We didn't have the animation budget for that, so we had to... like, not even in the, character sprites. That was a big sigh. Are you alright? What? Oh. I brush Nina's concern aside with a wave of my hand. I'm fine, yeah. Good, I'm glad. Nina purses her lips together. If you don't have any problems, you should help clean this place up a bit. The floor could use some sweeping. I pull a face. Do I have to? Yes, you have to. The boss will be mad if we let the store get dirty. But it's such a pain. You're saying what we're all thinking. You say that about almost everything. But still. So, not quite everything? It's near enough. Nina's right, of course. There are definitely tasks I could be tending to during this lulled business. But, if I'm being frank, I don't have the motivation. It's a recurring problem with me. I think it started back in elementary school. I've always been lazy. It's too late to change my ways. It's never too late. You can always change, so long as you're still breathing. Now get to work. Nina might look like a typical party girl, what with her dyed hair and false nails, but she takes her job surprisingly seriously. It can't be easy moving bread and other store-like duties with fake nails. I tried them on once and I could not, for the life of me, do anything without, like, the nails just, like... if you get what I'm saying. I guess it's true what they say. You really can't judge a book by its cover. I like the cherry earrings as well. I had to mention it because they didn't. You're so mean, Nina. You sound just like my mother. Does she often scold you? Not as much as she used to. It was real bad back in high school, though. Isn't that because you never did your homework and you never studied for your exams? Well, maybe. Jeez. Nina shakes her head. Your poor mother. It's no wonder she got mad at you. Did you take any of your classes seriously? I don't know. Home economics, maybe? I've always been good at baking. What about math or history? Don't even get me started on those. I can't remember math equations for the life of me, or the precise date of the siege of Kanagasaki. Not that it really matters. I've been out of high school for 4 years. I've never once needed to expand and simplify a set of brackets, let alone rattle off facts about the Sengoku era. Real problems in school. Real social commentary. I'm starting to suspect that mayhap my teachers and my parents are lying to me. It's only really important if you want to be a math professor or maybe a professional chess player. I can't pretend to be interested in either of these occupations. Ancient history, meanwhile, is so not my forte. I don't see how many of these old wars and rebellions from hundreds of years ago have any impact on my life. My mother always touched when she catches me reading anything by Tsuchimi Rui. She says I should live in the real world, but in what world, I ask you, is the Sengoku era relevant? Let me drink. I'm gonna be doing that a lot if I'm gonna be reading a lot. Then again, it's hardly different from talking a lot. Anyway, that is a whole thing I have, words about, but I don't feel like unpacking at this present time, even though it probably won't be relevant later. History's only ever interesting when it's presented in a bunch of easily digestible TV episodes, with all the key players played by good-looking actors. The rest of the stuff I learned at school was utterly useless. That's why it never stuck. It's all irrelevant. That's what I think, at least. But maybe I can only afford to think like this because I never intended to go to university from the get-go. I've always known I'm not academically minded. I think my teachers knew that too, which is why they stopped haranguing me over my subpar test scores. Hang on, by turning this into an educational stream, I'm gonna look up what that word means. You can't tell me that fiction is useless because it made me have to look up what the heck that word means. Hey, okay. Oh, there's so much stuff in front of me in my workspace that is... I'm not gonna expound on that, just let it be what it is. I left an alarm on for... just to get ready for the stream, but I'm already here. I'm ahead of the curve this time. Haranguing meaning. I don't want the AA overview. Harangu. Hang on. Lecture in brackets someone at length in an aggressive and critical manner. In the lecture berate. Castigate. No, that sounds too different to something else, so I'm not gonna... criticize, attack, lambast, censure, pillory, upgrade, earbash. Those are the ones that are highlighted. I think the other ones are not highlighted because they're like... actions of words. Hang on.
Harangue. Harangue.
Me being the genius I am, tried to click on the speech bubble and to hear the pronunciation and not actually get it because I don't know where my audio is coming out of. Well, not into the air where I can read it, that's for sure. It's been just under 20 minutes and I'm caught up on one word, and we have, to my knowledge, like another 3 to 5 hours and 40 minutes to go. They knew there was no point. I also am interrupting the flow of the conversation. Let me start again. Actually no, that's way too much. I was already a lost cause. You're not going to university, right, Maya? Nope. My grades were shocking, and I don't mean that in a good way. I gathered as much. You get the big name establishments like Tokyo U, not even the smaller, decidedly less glamorous institutions with only a few thousand students that would want to take me in. With that. My mother wanted me to enroll at cram school and retake my exams, but I refused. I wasn't interested and I'm still not. That's how I ended up at Blue Mountain, though I didn't start working here right away. A bunch of other menial jobs came between that. All of them in customer service. First I worked at a convenience store, then at a second-hand bookstore, and over at Petit Jardin. But so many jobs over the last 4 years, I can't remember all of them. Damn. Pretty fond of Blue Mountain though. It's quite classy for a chain bakery, and the uniforms are cute. The pay's not incredible. I'm not going to be a billionaire anytime soon, but I don't mind that. Life's short, so I'd rather spend my time doing things I enjoy. Not that I love customer service jobs. They're not scintillating. Hang on. I think it's because this character reads a lot of reads a lot of books that she knows all these words to use. Sparkling or shining brightly, a scintillating sun, brilliantly and excitingly clever or skillful. Okay, so yeah, sparkling, shining, bright, brilliant, gleaming, dazzling, exciting, exhilarating, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm sure I've had that word before. Anyways, I like working more than I've ever enjoyed sitting at a desk though, studying or listening to a teacher drone on and on. I've always enjoyed chatting to people when they're not being unbearably rude, that is, and the money definitely doesn't hurt. I don't want to pry, but don't you have, like, future plans? Not really. There's nothing you want to do? If there is, I haven't figured it out yet. Doesn't that worry you? Nuh-uh. The frick you mean, nuh-uh? I shake my head. My future problems are for the future me to solve. The present me is perfectly happy with the way things are right now, thank you very much. Wow. Nina whistles. I can't do the whistling myself, just pretend there's a whistle going on. I don't have the fancy schmancy soundboard to do it for me either. Not sure if she's impressed or perturbed by my attitude. Maybe it's a mixture of both. I was sweating bullets during my last year of high school. I had no idea what I was going to do with myself. It was pretty scary. If I hadn't gone into beauty school, I'd be totally lost right about now. I need some kind of structure to my days, or I start to feel aimless. There's no way I could live like you. Nina's always making to-do lists on her phone, which she whips out during lulls in the day work. She's far, far more organized than I am. It's quite impressive. Sometimes I wonder if my mother would prefer me if I was more like Nina. But then I look at Nina, and her tan skin, her acrylic nails, and her dyed hair, and I reconsider. My mother's almost as anal about appearances as she is actual results. I don't need to know what your mother's doing in that area. I could be a nuclear physicist and my mother would still cringe in shame if I dressed like Nina. Oh well, I'm not my mother, thank goodness, and I won't judge her. You're such a good guy. It's too early for this. You sure you don't want to go at Star? I'll pass, thanks. I'd rather you started sweeping the floor. It always comes back to that, huh? I just this made me realize that all this talk about academic futures stemmed from the main character not wanting to sweep the floors. That is among, like, probably one of the, like, least difficult things you could be doing when keeping up the place. I've tried cleaning windows before. It always leaves smudges that you can never get rid of. And I've never done it again since. That's how much I hated it. Next. I sigh. Why'd I have to sweep the floor anyways? Because I did it last time, and I took out the trash. Though I just got my nails done. Though I just got my nails done. You need to start pulling your weight around here, Mayo. But I deal with all the customers. And... Nina raises an eyebrow. Do you see any customers right now? Well, no, but... Then start sweeping. You really are a meanie. I looked to the door anxiously, hoping a customer would trundle on in. I at least know that one. But of course, they don't. It really is quiet today. I wonder why. It's a little after 17:00. That's 5 p.m. in 24-hour time. I suppose your view on it could differ depending on, like, what you grew up with, but it's... But, you know, AM and PM is actually kind of dumb as well, if you think about it. Like, the numbers repeat instead of just doing the... I don't know. With time, structure of time, layout, blah blah blah. It's all irrelevant. Time still marches on regardless of how we label it. A little after 5 p.m, according to the clock on the wall, which is smack dab in one of our busy periods. We usually get our biggest influx of customers during the lunch period from around 12 o'clock to 1 p.m, and then 12 p.m. to 1 p.m, and then again at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m, when people start heading home. Maybe there was a signal failure on the KQ main line. It might explain the distinct lack of businessmen and women in their crisp black suits, desperate for something sweet to invigorate them after a busy day. Groaning, I pull myself upright and stretch. I mean to get started on busy work. Really I do, but... Oh? Telltale ring of the bell in front of the door shop's door makes me pause. I abandon my plans and bound back to the counter, all smiles. Welcome to Blue Mountain. It's lovely to see you today. I launch into the greeting spiel my boss drilled into my head on autopilot, but my words falter once my brain registers who the customer actually is. The prospective customer is a tall, slender woman with sleek black hair cut into fashionably feathered bob. Her eyes are made up, her lips carmine, and she's wearing a pinstripe suit, very fashionable. She carries herself with such poise, she looks a bit like a model, but I know you just not find her in the pages of any magazine. This woman is no regular to Blue Mountain, but I recognize her regardless. It's my Aunt Say. Auntie! I beam, my voice more effusive than it once was. I'm not gonna keep looking up word definitions on the visual novel reading live stream. That's not what this is about. It's been a while. It's good to see you. Maya. Say looks surprised to see me, as I am her, but the moment passes and she soon regains her cool. If I had to use one word to describe my Aunt Say, cool would probably be it. She doesn't let anything faze her. I've always looked up to her, ever since I was old enough to understand the concept of a role model. She's the sort of adult I'd love to be, if only I had the motivation. It's good to see you too, dear. I didn't know you were working here. I thought you were still at Petit Jardin. Oh, I quit that job a few months back. All the screaming kids were driving me insane. I've worked at Blue Mountain since February. I see. It's been a while then. I didn't think I'd be seeing you when I ducked in here. Saya gives a dark, lipsticky smile. Along I mean, it describes the notion of smiling with lipstick, but it doesn't sound as eloquent as some of the other words would have you think. Miyako never tells me what you're getting up to. That's probably because she's ashamed of me. She still wishes I'd gone to university. Still? Sae frowns. It's been 4 years. Doesn't she know you're not interested? I told her a bunch of times, but it never seems to stick. My mother's pretty stubborn. She thinks everyone's gonna march to the beat of her drum. That sounds like Miyako, alright. She always knows what's best for everybody. Or at least she thinks she does. Tell me about it. I grin. I wonder if there's someone who doesn't have someone who's even a little... a parent who's not even a little controlling. Well, I mean, let me clarify. Like, you know, you gotta maintain a level of strictness to, you know, keep the kids in line, like, keep them well behaved. And in terms of, like, future planning, like, I don't even know what high school to go to. I just kind of, like, nodded along, because, like, yeah, I just... And then when they were presenting universities to me, I was like, what if I, like, I don't know, man. I don't want to, like, I don't know, and also I don't want to go, and also I don't think school being good, fine, and, yeah, I think it was also, you know, like that with, I need another drink. I got something building up the back of my nose, back of my throat, in between those two. But yeah, the long and short of it is, some people want what's best for you. Some people want what's best for you. Some people, like, want to live vicariously through you, but they never, you know. Some do it better than others. That was basically the point I was trying to get across. I won't let her talk me around, though. I'm just as stubborn as she is. If not more, there's no way I'm going to university. It'd be a total waste. Wait, I concur. You shouldn't let Miyako push you into it. Not when you're so opposed to the idea. It's important to do what you think is best for yourself. I concur. That's what I keep saying. My mother never listens to me, though. Maybe you could try speaking to her on my behalf? Maybe I could. It's funny you would mention that. Sae begins to examine our selection of pastries and cakes. She places one hand beneath her chin, her black bob brushing against her jaw. My hair always ends up in front of my mouth or in front of my chin, no matter how hard I try. Well, I hardly try, but I don't grow hairs directly in front of my face. Ina looks at me curiously, a crease forming on her brow. She looks lost, a third wheel in mine, and Sae's friendly, familiar conversation. Is this woman really your Aunt Mayor? Ina murmurs under her breath, so Sae can't hear her. You don't look at all alike. More or less, yeah. More or less? The furrow in Nina's brow deepens further still. And how does that work exactly? We're not related by blood. She's my mother's friend from university. I saw her so much as a kid that, that she might as well be my real aunt, though. That's why I call her Auntie. Ah, I see. She looks way too put together to be any relation of yours. Damn. My mother would probably be mad if she heard you saying that. Goodness me, it's hard to decide. These cakes all look so good. Stei's voice cuts through mine and Nina's whispered conversation. She raises her head, then asks me a question. Is there anything you would recommend, Maya? Let me think. I pondered for a few moments before replying. Maybe one of the fruit tarts? They're pretty tasty. What about Miyako? Does she like fruit tarts? She does, yeah. She likes most sweet things, though she says she's on a diet. She was like that back in university too. There was a Chinese bakery near one of our dorms she frequented almost daily. Wouldn't be surprised if she single-handedly kept that place in business. Sai smiles, amused by the memory. I suppose I'll take one of the fruit tarts to go. Then, a large one. Coming right up. I retrieve the large circular tart from the display unit at Sai's behest and box it up for her. Take great pains to tie the decorative ribbon about the box as neatly as possible. Do you need anything else? That should be everything. Thank you, Mayo. I hope you and Miyako enjoy it. Huh? I blink. What's this got to do with us? I thought you were buying that tart for yourself. Oh, I'm sure I sampled a piece of it, but I didn't get this for me. It's actually a present for your mother. I was planning to stop by your house later, you see. I thought it was only polite to bring a gift for the occasion. It's been a while since my last visit. It's something I want to discuss with you, and your parents too. Will you be getting off work anytime soon? We could walk back to your house together. That'd be pretty convenient, but I've still got a while until my shift ends. I don't want to keep you waiting. It's fine. You can head off early, Mayo. I'll cover for you. Are you sure that's alright? If it wasn't, I wouldn't offer. Nina rolls her eyes. Your aunt must have something important to tell you, else she wouldn't have come all the way out here. You should spend some time with her. That's more important than working for an extra half an hour, especially when it's so quiet right now. Nina? I could feel my face blushing with happiness. I have a sudden urge to pull Nina into a big old embrace. I don't think she'd appreciate it. No touchy. No touchy. Knowing Nina, she'd probably scowl and tell me to stop being so sappy. Since hugging Nina is a no-no, I have to settle for flashing Nina's a peace sign with my... Wait, I accidentally pressed it too fast. Coupled with my toofiest smile. Thanks, Nina. You're the best. I'm not doing this for free, you know. I'm expecting you to cover for me the next time my boyfriend asks me out for a date, okay? Okay. I agree enthusiastically without missing a beat. It's been so long since I last saw Auntie Sai. She's been buried under an avalanche of work recently, or so I've heard. I wonder what compelled her to come all the way out here from her fancy office in Shibuya out to Kawasaki. It's all very intriguing, but I guess I'll find out soon enough. Ambiance jump scare. City street ambiance jump scare. Sai and I walk the street, threading out way between the crowds. Is that correct grammar? My house is a 15-minute walk away, and while I could just take the train, it'd be pretty crowded this time of day. It's probably faster to use our feet. Sai and I are so close. Our shoulders are practically brushing. She's walking slowly, the box of Blue Mountain cradle in her arms. Holding it carefully, almost reverently, like a mother might hold a newborn baby. I'm pretty pleased that Sai is being so protective of her purchase. The fruit tarts from Blue Mountain are really something. Almost like works of art. It'd be a shame to spoil it. The tart Sai picked out has has a base with sliced strawberries placed just so on top of a circular pattern. Fails to read during the reading novel. That sounds about right. The whole thing is garnished with blueberries and whipped cream, and it looks like a flower, or maybe a firework. I can't wait to sink my teeth into it. I've been working at Blue Mountain for about 4 months now, but I don't think I'll ever get tired of their desserts. I'm partial to their sponge cakes, but the light, crisp fruit tarts are perfect for the summer weather. Is this the part where I do like an anime gasp that I'm famously known for, and that everyone's famously known for, and that I could just do on the fly, and also in an anime girl voice, which I famously sound like? Okay, well, here goes nothing. How was that? Rate that out of 10, if you could, please. I need the validation, please. This is all I have. Please. Alright, bit over. Oh jeez, now my stomach's beginning to rubble. I've bitted too close to the sun that I forgot how to read. More than I usually do. Ugh. I'm feeling the negative effects of eating large sugar sugar concentrated sustenance items before talking, especially. I did not think this through. I don't think a lot of things through. That was one of them. Now I must be hungrier than I thought. My stomach's beginning to rumble and I must be hungrier than I thought. Are you alright, Mayo? Saya shoots me an amused look. You're staring at the box in my hands like a starving wolf. Oh, my feet. Wait, no, I can do a better laugh. No. Are my feelings that obvious? You're not exactly subtle. Saya smiles. I take it your job at Blue Mountain is hungry work. Kind of, yeah. It's tough being surrounded by cute pastries and cakes all the time without being able to eat them. We tend to get a lot of customers too, though today wasn't so bad. When did you last eat? Around midday, I think. That's when I had my break. It's been a while, and I only had a pitiful sandwich from the convenience store. Hey. Okay, speaking from experience, those things aren't... Those things aren't pitiful. Definitely not the most pitiful things I've eaten from a convenience store. That's kind of a wide net. Like, but still. I'm starved. We should be back soon. We should be back soon enough. Yako will be there already, won't she? Yeah, she doesn't work Thursdays. My mother is a part-time employee at a local elementary school. She doesn't work Thursdays or Fridays, which gives her ample time to attend the housework. She's always asking me to pitch in and lend a hand, to my chagrin. I've never liked tidying up. I was able to tell. I don't mind helping my mother prepare breakfast, and sometimes I handle dinner myself because I like cooking. Cleanup's torturous, though. Same. Actually, it's more the setup that actually gets me, personally. Cleanup is pretty routine. You just gotta rinse and wipe dishes down and put them in a dishwasher if you have one. And put food away. My brain works in weird ways, or maybe that's just how everyone's brain works, and I'm just a different brand of weird. Speaking of dinner, I bet Mama will make me wait until after dinner before I can try some of that tart. She wouldn't want me spoiling my appetite. I scuff the sidewalk with the tip of my sneaker. She's so picky. Now, she's only picky because she cares about you. I think she cares too much. She gets so worked up about everything. It's not the end of the world that I forget to wash the dishes or take in the laundry. I mean, like, it does leave kind of a stink though, and I know that from experience, so like, understandable, at least to a degree. I wish my mother was as cool as you, Auntie Say. You never get on my case. That's because I don't live with you. If you were my daughter, I'm sure I'd have a few choice words to tell you. Pleasant words? Maybe. That depends. On what? On how pleasant you feel like being yourself, little madam. Sai nudges me in the side of her shoulder, her carmine lips poured into a smile. You've not seen me in the office, but I can be incredibly strict, especially when there's deadlines to meet. There's a reason a lot of my co-workers call me a demon. I can make grown men cry. I don't think any child of mine would stand a chance. Oh boy, I'm more in love by the minute. Is that appropriate of me to say as the, reading as the main protagonist, following the protagonist's shoes? Don't worry about it. Is that why you never had kids, Auntie Say? Okay. That, and I've never really had the time. We all want different things out of life. I don't know if my mother wanted a kid like me. And I guess it's too late for that. She's stuck with me now. Miyako loves you a lot, Maya. She always talks about you. About how impossible I am. Sometimes. It shows that she cares, though. Just that she cares, though. Sure. I talk too softly, my voices will become indistinguishable. I roll my eyes skywards. Sure. I did a different take just to try and method act, rolling my eyes skywards. I know my mother cares about me, really, despite all the nagging. There are parents out there who charge their kids rent for staying home at past the age of 18, or even worse, parents who kick their kids to the curb the moment they reach adulthood. My mother's not like that. I think she's glad to have me around, despite her grousing. She just worries about me. She worries about everything, actually, not just me. I think that's why her hair's growing grey already. My mother is a year younger than Sai. You wouldn't think that to compare them. Sai is very trim, fit and fashionable, with her hair bobbed and her fancy suits. My mother, meanwhile, wears her hair in a loose side ponytail, strands escaping, and she wears these ratty old cardigans and long skirts. She often looks tired, and she's forever complaining about having headaches. Maybe that's a side effect of having to look after a kid for so many years, especially an annoying one like me. So how have you been, Auntie? Are you still busy with work? I'm always busy with work. You got all the deadlines to meet? Always. It's quite hectic since one of my authors managed to make it big. I'm in and out of meetings every day. I'm glad for it, of course, but it is quite stressful. I've been doing overtime at the office for months. Auntie Sai is a literary agent. She represents a bunch of different authors, and it's her job to land them publishing contracts with lots of zeros appended to the end. I don't know much about Auntie Sai's job, but I've gathered she spends a lot of time cracking the whip, keeping all her signed authors on schedule. Apparently writers are notoriously bad for failing to meet deadlines. Aunt Sai has to send droves of polite but insistent emails every single day, and a load of phone calls too. I would simply just die. My aunt's job might sound more glamorous than my mother's at an elementary school, keeping naughty kids in line. I don't know if they're all that different, really. Nah, man, being compared to a child is probably the most damning thing that most people will hear. Well, at least in this context. That sounds tough. It can be, but I try not to let it get to me. I need to keep a cool head or things would soon fall apart. I run a very tight ship. I'll bet. So, my curiosity piqued, I appear at my aunt. If you're as busy as all that, why'd you decide to pay us a visit? You must have something very serious to discuss. It's not serious per se. Nobody's died, at least. Although... Sai presses her lips together. Komikado might if she keeps trying my temper. Who's that? One of your authors? Indeed, she's quite the handful. What's she written? Anything I'd know? As if you wouldn't... Like... I don't know, I thought it would stand as that you'd know the author of a book series or just a book that you're really into. I still remember the name Dave Heilke, the Captain Underpants guy. Sorry, my I just made myself look the biggest fool. Time to put on the clown head and prance around the street. I said head instead of hat. It may as well. That's just adds to my foolishness. It's part of the character. I can't blurt that out to you on the street, silly. So I adjust her grip on the Blue Mountain box and gives my forehead a flick. It's confidential. It can't be that confidential. I never heard of an author named Komikado before. Not that that's saying much. I don't make a habit of reading, not real novels anyway. I'm really into this popular light novel series, The Forest of Elves and The Pressured Princess by Tsuchimi Ruri. That's where my appreciation for the written word ends. I don't have the attention span for any of the serious classic type novels they made us read in high school. I think they're deathly boring. I was kind of in and out of reading, not just including the stuff without the pictures, the dreaded parchments of just of walls of text. But I don't know. I guess it was a way to pass the time. That's probably how I thought about it. Besides the times where I was able and allowed to play video games. If Rashomon came with a bunch of full-page illustrations of cute, busty elf girls, maybe I'd be interested, but it doesn't. The busty adjective was necessary. Girl is super gay. She's been super gay all her life. It's such a waste. You wouldn't have heard of Komikado. She writes under an alias. Don't a lot of authors do that? They like their privacy, and my clients in particular. Komikado wouldn't be happy if she knew you'd been asking questions. I was only asking because you brought her up. Touché. Sai smiles. Suppose I can't be too mad at you then. So is this Komikado person related to your visit? I can't think of how she would be. I don't even know who she is, but I don't see why else Sai would have mentioned her. Hang on a second. Dog is sleepy again. The padding doesn't show up on the audio capture unless you do it really loud, and I'm not going to slap my dog to death. Well, she's awake from whatever's troubling her. Isn't that right? Anyway, there's a brief pause broken by the sound of our soles against the sidewalk. Sai is wearing heels, and they strike the ground for a series of short staccato jabs. Tuck, tuck, tuck. I know what staccato is because I studied music as a child. It's the top like short and sudden, like super like the way I just read it basically. Sai readjusts the Blue Mountain box in both her hands, then she replies, "Yes, she is." Huh? My brow furrows. Eh? I'm trying to... Again, trying to method act. I'm not gonna get on the Emmys or whatever they have around these parts if I don't if I don't practice now. How does that track? I don't get it. You'll see soon enough. I'll explain everything when we get to your house. Can't you explain it now? I'm on tenterhooks here. Sorry, Maya, but this matter involves your mother too. And your father, I suppose. I'd like them to be present to avoid repeating myself. Dad too? Who is her father? This must be a big deal if you're getting the family patriarch involved. Well, I say that, but it's no secret that my mother is the one who rules the roost. She's the one who keeps a grip on the purse strings. My dad is a bit like a puppet. He obeys my mother without question, presumably because after all the years spent together, he knows her well enough that it's not worth questioning her authority. My mother generally knows best anyway. There's no point trying to argue with her. It's really not that serious, Maya. Don't look so worried. You're not in any trouble. But Komikado is? Oh, she's not just in trouble. She is trouble. Right. I still don't understand Sai's motivations for coming over, but I feel more intrigued about her plans now than I did before. What in the world is she up to? My mother greets Sai enthusiastically once we arrive back home. A whole bunch of exclamations and gesticulations. Gesticulations? Again, I'm not pulling this up, especially with such a delicate pronunciation. Sai, it's good to see you. How's it sorry, more stuff's going on in my throat, sabotaging me for this very moment. I will admit, I've made mistakes in my life. Having these problems during the stream could be one of them. You could construe that. Sai, it's good to see you. How have you been? Well, Sai begins, but she doesn't get a chance to respond. My mother ushers her inside, then starts brewing a pot of green tea before Sai has had so much as a chance to take her shoes off. My mother continues her assault while bustling about the kitchen, firing questions at Sai as she ferrets cups and spoons out from the cupboards. She doesn't even pause to draw in breath. It's quite impressive, really, in a manic sort of way. How's work been treating you? I hope it hasn't been too stressful. It was so good of you to come to see us. I've missed our little chats. Oh, and what's that? A tart? Did you bring that for me? You shouldn't have. I appreciate the thought, of course, but we are friends. You didn't need to go out of your way for me. It's a lovely tart, though. Where'd you get it? At Blue Mountain, you say? The bakery by the station? Why, that's where Maya works. Did you happen to run into her? And she walked you back here? How nice. We don't have guests over all that often, so my mother's keen housewifely senses must have kicked into overdrive. My mother's on the shorter side, and she's rather slender, but she rushes through the house like a force of nature. It takes several minutes of forced hospitality before my mother deigns to sit at the table with Saya and me. When she finally gets around to sipping the green tea she brewed, it's already gone lukewarm. Now, you said you had something important to discuss? You want me to call Yukihiro? I can tell him to hurry back home. He should be finished with work soon, then we can all have a proper conversation. That would be appreciated. Thank you very much, Miyako. Sai bows her head politely, which makes my mother laugh. Please, lighten up, Sai. You don't need to bother with such formalities. Not around me. We've known each other for too long. I think that's a bit rich coming from the woman who keeps bobbing up and down to pour more cups of green tea, but I decided to keep silent on that score. My mother sends a text to my dad about Sai's visit, but his response is less than favourable. Looks like he's still busy. He won't be back for at least an hour at the earliest. Is that alright, Sai? I know how busy you are. I'd hate to keep you waiting. It's fine. I thought this might happen, so I decided to leave my evening empty. Moreover, this is my fault for dropping by so unexpectedly. It would be unfair of me to expect Yukihiro to change his schedule for my sake. Why don't we use this as an opportunity to catch up? It feels like it's been a small eternity since we spent any time together. That's small and eternity. That's an oxymoron right there. I'm sorry for neglecting you, Miyako. That's quite alright. These things happen. We're all busy adults and we all have our own lives. Glares at Mayo. I've been rather busy myself as of late. Why, just the other day, my mother launches into a lengthy diatribe about our ongoing problems with the boiler, to which Sai listens sympathetically. Talk about the boiler soon transitions to my mother's words regarding one of her students, a particularly naughty boy called, you'll never guess, Keiichi. Small world, huh? My mother works at the same elementary school that Mrs. Kimura's daughter, Miho, attends. As such, she's intimately familiar with Keiichi, who, from what I've gathered, seems to be a scourge on society. Dog is yelping again. Her favorite people are away from home, and I think that may be that could well be leading into her worries. I am not her favorite people. I mean, I do give her food, but that's besides the point. Or is it, or rather just the people who show the most outward affection. I am not the most affectionate person ever, let alone in the house. Sounds like a real handful. Yeah, Keiichi, the child. My mother's been trying to flag up Keiichi's behaviour to his mother for months, but to little avail. She thinks her son is a perfect angel. She refuses to admit that he could do any wrong. Talking with that woman is a nightmare. It's no wonder her son is such a menace. I doubt she ever punishes him. I don't agree with smacking children, but sometimes even I think that boy needs a good shake. He's done worse to his classmates. Take Miho, for example. And so it goes. My mother talks on and on, as she is prone to doing. Sai nods sympathetically and says at all the right moments, which encourages my mother further. I sit there all the while, mute and rather bored. I keep sneaking glances at the clock while nursing my cup of green tea between my fingers. Maybe the cats will suit the dog. When's Dad going to get back? It's been almost an hour already. I want to hear what Sai's news is. That's far more interesting than the boiler, or, if I'm being honest, Keiichi's antics. I already heard all about him from Mrs. Kimura earlier. I've heard his name so many times during the last couple of months, I'm starting to wonder if he's some kind of supernatural phenomenon. Get an exorcist, maybe that will change it. Get an exorcist for the mother as well while you're at it. I wonder. You said Keiichi 3 times in front of the bathroom mirror at night. Would the fiend himself appear? Might have to try that someday. I'm using it as a soon cut short, however, by the sound of the front door. The door creaks open. It needs oiling. Then slams shut with a dull thud that echoes throughout the house. Just as doors are ought to do. That must be Yukihiro. He always does that. I told him not to slam the door goodness knows how many times. He'll chip the paintwork in the hall. He'll chip the paintwork in the hall, but he never listens. I suppose that's men for you. They always think they know best. I mean, I guess I can't argue with that, but also... I hear my father remove his coat and slide off his shoes in the foyer. Then he comes padding into the living room, looking worn and weary after a long day's labour. He hears my mother's complaints, he doesn't comment on them. He must be used to it after more than 20 years of her snide jabs. I wonder if all married couples are like that. It's a bit depressing. That's a bit of a depressing thought. I'm home, everybody. Sorry about the delay. I meant to come over sooner, but things kept piling up. It's alright. Don't worry, Yukihiro. I flashes my dad a consoling smile. I know how it can be. Jobs that should take 5 minutes often end up lasting half an hour, if not longer. That's exactly how it is. I'm bone tired. My dad groans, then takes a seat in the living room. So what's all this for? He casts his eye at a fancy fruit tart on the table, which has been half devoured already. So I brought it from Blue Mountain as a present. It was very thoughtful of her. She needn't have troubled herself with it really, but I'm glad she did. Do you want a piece, dear? I probably shouldn't. I need to think about my weight. But, what the heck, you only live once. It'd be rude not to, really, when Sai bought it for us. That's the spirit. Sai grins. I don't know why you're worrying about your weight. You look as trim as a man in his 20s. Well, I don't know about that. My dad looks down at himself, at his round paunch, which protrudes over the top of his belt, and laughs. You're too kind. My mother fetches another plate from the kitchen alongside a freshly brewed pot of green tea, then renews her role as the perfect hostess. Someday I gotta compile all my minor reading mistakes and see how many of those, like, how long it takes, how long it adds up. Probably a lot. Maybe not as much as I think it will, but probably a lot of time units. Units of measurement that refer to time. There you go, dear. Enjoy. Thank you, I will. It'll make a nice treat after being rushed off my feet all day. My dad eats a bite of the tart, then sighs in contentment. This is delicious. Your daughter's the one who suggested it. She has a good eye for these things. Or maybe a good tongue. Really? Maya's dad looks nothing like her. I'm not seeing any of the resemblance. Dad smiles at me. Like, I'm looking at them side by side right now. Not even the complexion is really showing any matches. I guess the closest thing is the fringe, or no, it's two different things. The dad's one hair curl and the abnormally large ahoge coming out of the hole in Maya's head. It looks like, oh my gosh. Good job, kiddo. I know I can always rely on your expert opinion when it comes to sweets. Now, that hit the spot. My dad polishes off his small slice of fruit tart, then washes it down with a sip of green tea. It was very good, though I think your baking might have it beat, Mayo. You're skilled in the kitchen yourself. Nah, I'm not. You're flattering me. Not at all. I could eat your baking all day. My dad casts his gaze down once more to his protruding stomach. Which might explain my current predicament. I think your current predicament, as you termed it, can be attributed more to your lack of self-control. Well, maybe. Maya doesn't take it easy on me, though, when she's always smiling in the kitchen. Make it easy for... How can I refuse her baking as her father? I'm supposed to encourage her. Cersei. My father turns his attention back to our guests. I must apologize again for my lateness. I hope it wasn't too much of an inconvenience. Oh, it's quite alright. I was having fun talking to Miyako. Being talked at by Miyako would be a more accurate descriptor of the last hour, but again, I don't comment. I've long since learned it's best not to draw aggro from mother-type enemies, not if I want my evenings to be peaceful to any degree. At least Sai seems to enjoy my mother's company. I'm glad to hear it. Have you two been having a girly chat? Oh yes. Miyako was telling me all about her job, and about one of her problem students, Keiichi, I think she said his name was. That little pest. My father groans. Never seen the boy, but Miyako talks about him so much, it sometimes feels like I have two children. My father catches my eye, then smiles. Wow. Heck of a thing to be compared to a child. Huh. Man. Poor Maya. What did she do? Not that Maya is a child anymore, I suppose. She's a splendid adult now. Thanks, Dad. I do my best. I know you do, dear. Though I do wish you could be a bit more independent. You have complained enough for one evening, though. At least she's self-aware. What is it you wanted to tell us, Sai? You've been here for so long, I'm sure you're dying to say your piece so you can be gone. Not at all. I've been rather enjoying myself. It's nice to relax every once in a while. But you're right. There is something I want to discuss. I presume it's something important if you came out all the way to talk... if you came all the way out here to talk to us. That was not a hard sentence. It is important, yes, but it's not particularly serious. There's nothing for you to worry about. This is a mere fancy on my part. You don't need to agree to it, not if you don't want to. I thought it might make it for a good opportunity. Sai pauses to sip her newly poured cup of green tea and glances at me. Miyako has told me you've been struggling to hold down a steady job. Is that true? I wince and slide an inch or two down my chair. It's true enough that I've been fitting between low-paid part-time jobs for the last couple of years, but it's not something I want to admit to. Not to a smartly dressed woman like Sai. Girl, it's not just her dress. She is smart, mature, and beautiful, all on her own. You could be wearing literally anything but that pose, and that temperament is to die for. I like Sai and all. I even regard her as part of my family, but it is kind of awkward. There's no shame in that, of course. It's hard to get by in today's economy, even for university graduates. Jobs are scarce and there's a lot of competition. There are thousands of young people, hundreds of thousands in fact, across the country in the exact same situation as you. That's the unfortunate reality of the world we live in. I do wonder, however, whether you're happy the way things are. You're getting to the age where you would naturally want a bit more space. At least, I would assume so. Are you alright living with your parents? It's fine, I guess. I reply after glancing between my parents. Get along for the most part. Sometimes I think I would like my own place though. That would go a long way to just ceasing the silly bickering between me and my mother. I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. I have like 0 savings. I can't move out, not even to a cruddy apartment complex. This area is way too expensive for little old me. I'd be bankrupted unless I moved somewhere even further away. That sounds like a huge hassle. Some people might thrive when faced with challenges, but I'm the exact opposite. I don't like exerting unnecessary effort. I just want life to be easy. Yeah, don't we all? Maybe that's why I'm still living with my parents at the age of 24. Not necessarily a bad thing. There are, like I said, lots of people in my situation, but if I'm being honest, it is starting to get to me. Am I getting a bit too old to answer to my mother? I want my own place, where I can exist on my own terms, but I don't know how to go about achieving it. Seems like a pipe dream. You're not wrong there. Sai nods, her neat black glove brushing her jawline. It'll be hard for you to rent your own property as is, working part-time jobs. If you're content with your current situation, I'll leave it at that. But a job opportunity has come up that I believe you'd be well suited for. A job? My mother leans across the table, her face alight with intrigue. What sort of job? It's a housekeeping position for one of my clients. Client? Now it's my turn to frown. Does that mean they're a writer? Yes, indeed. She's one of Horizon's most popular writers. She's something of a recluse, and she lives in a large home in the countryside. Lately, she's been having a hard time juggling her household chores with her writing obligations. I'm somewhat worried about her welfare, so I thought it prudent to hire a housekeeper on her behalf to maintain order. My client stipulated that this housekeeper must be a woman close to her in age, willing to relocate and live with her in the countryside. She was very specific in her demands, which didn't give me much wiggle room. After pondering the matter for some time, I thought you might make for a good potential candidate. Me? Points finger at self. Yes, you. I heard from Miyako that you're a good cook and you know how to clean. You might not be particularly enthusiastic about the latter point, but the job should pay well enough to motivate you. Really? My mother, ever mercenary when it comes to monetary matters, latches onto this like a dog with a bone. How much are we talking about here? Sai promptly rattles off a figure which makes even my placid father do a double take. Are you for real right now? I'm doing the squiggly eyes and everything. I can't sell that. I can't sell that while doing a voice, but yes. Indeed I am. I wouldn't lie about such matters. Huh? I lean back at my chair, stunned into silence. The estimated wage Sai just threw out is like double, maybe even triple what I'm earning right now at Blue Mountain. Those are some seriously large numbers there. If I took this job, I could be, maybe not a millionaire, but it'd give me a huge boost. I might even be able to open a savings account. That is an incredibly generous wage. Would your client really be willing to pay our mile for that? As the figure she gave me, after some back and forth, I believe she can afford it quite comfortably. She's a very wealthy woman. So she must be. If she can afford to throw her money around like that. And Mayo, if she did take the job, her lodgings would be provided for by her boss? Sai nods. She would be provided with bed and board, quite free of charge. Naturally, there would be no commuting costs. Really now, that is a good bargain. It almost sounds too good. What's your client's name, Sai? I want to know that too. Who exactly would I be working for? Her name is Kamikado Hijiri. She's not so far apart in age from Mayo. She's only 28. Her stories are exceedingly popular. So we've come back to the mysterious Kamikado, have we? I did wonder when Sai brought her up earlier. I guess she must be a big shot also, able to to be able to splash her cash around so lavishly, but like I said before, I've never heard of her. What has Kamikado Hijiri written? I've asked before, but you avoided the question. That's because we were outside. I didn't want to broadcast Kamikado's alter ego to the world. We're alone now, however, so I don't mind telling you the truth. You see... Sai smiles. Mikado doesn't write under her own name, but a pseudonym. It's one you might be familiar with. To the general public, she's more commonly known as Tsuchimi Rui. Tsuchimi? My mother frowns. That name does sound familiar. Where have I heard it before? Does she write crime novels? My parents are none the wiser about this revelation, but I feel like I've been struck with a thunderbolt. My whole body is tingling from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. I can hardly believe it. Does Sai really want me to work for Tsuchimi Rui? Surely she can't mean the Tsuchimi Rui. We must have gotten our wires crossed and getting carried away. There's no way something like this could happen. But by Tsuchimi Rui, you don't mean... That isn't the Rui who wrote Elf Forest, is it? This all feels too incredible a coincidence to be true, but... Yes, that's right. Kamikado Hijiri, otherwise known as Tsuchimi Rui, is indeed the author of Elf Forest. Oh... I stare at Sai, my mouth hanging open. Other than that single syllable, I don't know what to say. All words have abandoned me. How am I supposed to respond in a situation like this? It's so impossible, it feels like something from a dream, but the chair I'm sitting in is reassuredly real. And so are the splinters I feel in my spine. Man, these chairs are old. Sorry, I just felt like ad-libbing there, adding my own personal flair as a streamer reading a completely linear visual novel. Why am I mean, is this really okay that I'm here right now? Doing this? The question popped in my head. I'm like, I don't whatever. This is reality. It doesn't bear much resemblance to my old reality, but it's definitely reality. Sai is offering me a chance to work with Tsuchimi Rui, the Tsuchimi Rui. I'm still in a state of shock, but one thing is clear to me. No matter what Sai says, I don't have a choice in the matter. I have to take up on this offer. I simply have to. Who in their right mind could ever turn down a chance to meet their idol? Oh, it's fine. There was no... I hope it's fine. It's fine because there wasn't, we are in... It is a bath, and the bath is covering her body so that she gets all the warmth, and she doesn't have the, theoretical camera view on her delicates. Please, I'm begging you, look, the text box is covering it now. It ends... Alright. Wait, I forgot to read. I just need to assure everyone that this is a 100%, as the kids say so, like a pure-hearted, completely innocent reading experience. We are learning about the we are here to learn a valuable lesson about reading and about knowing about securing our future with our idols, which is like the biggest pipe dream to ever exist. But Not for our main character here. I don't think I know enough of the story to bring a narrative analysis, but anyway, I'm sure I'll get there. I'm sure I'll have a I'm sure I'll have an epiphany sooner or later, which may or may not be related to what I'm doing or have been doing forever. It's been a few hours since I left and I'm still reeling from her news. I ate dinner with my parents a little later than usual, then head upstairs. I feel pretty tired, so I decided to have a bath early. I scrub the dirt off my skin and slide into the tub, all the way up to my shoulders. I recline in the blissfully warm water, my arms looped around my bare legs. The curve of my spine is pressed against the lip of the bathtub, which feels comfortingly cool. Muggy steam wafts through the air. It clouds the bathroom mirror and the silvery taps on the end of the tub. I tie my hair back before stepping into the bathtub so it doesn't trail into the water. I don't feel like toweling it dry again. Do people not wash their hair in the bath? That sounds like too much hard work. Girl, you're about to be a housekeeper. This is like nothing. I sigh as the tension fades from my body. My legs feel sore. I've been on my feet since 10 AM this morning when my shift at Blue Mountain started. I often felt like that I wasn't made for physical labor, but I hate the rigidity of academia even more. Perhaps I'm simply not cut out for the world of adults. I've never had a clear idea of what I want for my future. There's no field I'm particularly interested in, and there's nothing I want to be. If I could wish upon a shooting star, I'd of course ask for wealth. Right after world peace, of course. Star. I don't know how to make a star with my hands. Not that it matters. But right now, I have no idea how I'd go about accruing it. I've been drifting aimlessly since I graduated from high school without any real goals or motivation. My way of living seems to perturb my friends and family, but it's never bothered me. My mother, meanwhile, is always panicking about my future. She's always trying to impress upon me the importance of having clearly defined goals, as if by having a plan of action I'll be able to make it come true. She's wrong about that, of course. I'm not a psychic, I don't have a crystal ball, and neither was I born with the gift of precognition. I don't know what's going to happen 1 hour from now, let alone 1 year or 1 decade. What's the point of making plans when outside forces might sweep in and destroy them? Life's unpredictable like that. I'm a drifter, but I'm fine with the way things are. I figure things will work out okay, as long as I remain optimistic. Something good will always come up. That's what I've always told myself, in any case, and it seems like I was right. Sai's job offer was totally unexpected. It came out of the blue like a bolt of lightning, and in its wake, it's completely disrupted my day-to-day life. I'm going to meet my idol, Tsuchimi Rui. Now I suppose that's not a real name, it's just a pseudonym. The real Rui is a girl around my age called Komikado Hijiri. I always thought Rui was a guy, but I guess not. This evening's been full of surprises, and the chance to spend time with Hijiri, is the biggest surprise of them all. I wonder if Hijiri will sign all my volumes of The Forests of the Elves and the Pressured Princess. And to think, I was under the impression that the anime adaptation of Elf Forest would be the highlight of my whole year, but I was wrong. Now I have something even more exciting to fixate on. I can't believe it. I sigh as I sink into the tub, my eyes half-lidded. Droplets of moisture begin to bead upon my bare skin. I can feel perspiration trickling down my forehead. I don't bother wiping it away. I must be the luckiest girl in the world. I'm going to see Rui. No, Hijiri. I correct myself. I'm going to work with Hijiri. I need to get in the habit of calling her by her real name. I doubt she wants to go by her pseudonym in her daily life. Unless she'd prefer that? I'll have to ask her. Can't believe I'm going to see my favorite writer. There's like, no way. This is all happening so fast. My goodness. Tap my cheeks with both palms. They feel flushed, which could be attributed in part to the hot water. The other part comes, no doubt, from excitement. My heart's stammering like I've just finished running a relay. Am I allowed to be this happy? I'm so excited, I can hardly sit still. I want to cheer and whoop and throw my hands in the air. What did I do to deserve this? Is this a reward for being a really great person in the past life? Maybe I was a bodhisattva or something. I assume that's a good thing. Or maybe... I ponder, worrying at the nail of my thumb with my teeth. Am I dead? Have I been transported to another world? No, that's a different genre of anime. Could have gotten hit by a truck, just like Itsuki. I pinch myself. Ow! It hurts, which would suggest I haven't descended to heaven when hence my reality doesn't waver. The bathwater continues to pool around me, warming my thighs and my torso, while another bead of perspiration drips down my forehead. It hits the surface of the water with a pronounced plip. Seems to echo throughout the bathroom. That puts that dream into theory too. There's only one explanation for this. This really is real. I'm going to meet my idol. I'm going to meet Hijiri. I sigh deeply and sink a few more inches into the warm water. I'm so happy I could die. Star sign. I towel myself up after a lengthy bath and change into my pajamas. After retreating to my bedroom, I then decide to call Nina. It's getting late now. The clock on my bedside says it's 10:30 p.m., but it's not so late Nina would be asleep. I don't think she'd be mad as she'll mind an impromptu call. She is my friend, despite, or maybe because of her fussing. I search for Nina's number in my phone, my fingers trembling, and I misclick a couple of times. I've got a lot on my mind. I just share my good news with somebody, stat, or I'm afraid I'll burst. Nina! Hey Nina! I greet Nina cheerfully, almost breathlessly, and she picks up. Okay, I need to explain, I didn't mentally register that there would be posters on the wall. Also, the clock clearly says it's around 8 o'clock. Not to be judgmental or like, gatekeepy, but only 5 posters? They're all in different art styles though as well. Maybe it's like, could be like on merch. I don't know. Also having an AC directly above your bed, that's gotta be heaven. The colors on the drapes are nice. Blank photo frames. Presumably a laptop behind the character, behind Mayo. Nina, you'll never guess what. What? I can't see Nina's face, but I can practically hear her furrowed brow through the other edge of the phone. I was just about to have a bath. Make it quick, Mayo. I'll try, but I don't know if I can. This isn't something I can summarize quickly. It's pretty monumental, in fact. My whole life's about to change. No, it's changed already. You're like a whole new person. Well, that isn't suspicious. Nina snorts. I can snort because I need nose snorting. You haven't been talking to any shady people, have you? Like who? I don't know. Cult leaders, pyramid sellers, the Yakuza? The list goes on. Pyramid... Nina, don't you mean pyramid scheme sellers? I've never heard it said like that before, but I also never heard a lot of things before. It's, I'm learning a lot today. Is this how real people talk? I've only spoken to my Aunt Sally recently, and my parents. I don't think they're suspicious. I guess that's true. You're definitely the weirdest member of your family. Hey, how am I weird? That's not very nice. But it's true. I've seen your room, and it's like weird central. It's full of Elf Forest merch. And... I thought while doing a quick scan of my bedroom. Oh, there we go, full screen. As Nina says, my room really is full of Elf Forest merch. There's a bunch of posters all over the walls that show my number one waifu, Luluna. My shelves are stacked with every volume of the light novel, some in duplicate, and I own every volume of the manga series. A Luluna figure stands on my bedside table, and I have a few cheap crane figures of Astra and Luce on my laptop. Crane figures on the... I don't get it. My laptop is turned off right now, but if I press the power switch, I'd be greeted with an Elf Forest wallpaper. I own a few other Elf Forest trinkets too. Keychains and towels and a pass case for my Suica card. My room's become something of a shrine to the series during the last couple of years. I don't think there's anything creepy about it though. If it was a real person, then maybe we'd have to have a discussion, but hyperfixate all you want, girl. A Forest is a good series, and the girls are super cute. Why wouldn't I want to fill my room with Princess Luna's smiling face? Yikes. Oh jeez, I swear I can hear Nina wincing. Don't you realize how cringy you sound, Mayo? You're acting like a teenage boy or something. Don't misgender. That's Elf Forest's target audience. You're way outside of its strike zone. Could be further out. Elf Forest is mostly popular with teenage boys, true, but that doesn't mean I can't like it too. That's true. You could be a grown adult and like Thomas the Tank Engine. I know people who are into that kind of stuff. I don't judge them for it. If it's rated for all ages can enjoy it. If it's... End of story. Don't be judgment. The series is only getting bigger and bigger as time goes on. It'll get way more attention when the anime comes out. Guys and girls will love it, I'm sure. I don't love it. I think it's stupid. That's because you've never given it a chance. I don't want to give it a chance. I'm too old for elves and monsters and sword fights. It's boring. Maybe to you, but Elf Forest sales figures would disagree. It sells like hotcakes every time a new volume comes out. It's a work of undisputed genius. You always say that. Nina yawns, as she always does when I try to tell her about Elf Forest's many merits. Nina just doesn't seem to get how deep the series is. It relies on a lot of standard fantasy tropes, yeah. But the way Rui, or should I say Hijiri, executes them is out of this world. Quite literally, in fact. It is a fantasy novel series. The story is full of tension, but it's balanced out with a lot of cute moments between Itsuki and the girls are all adorable. Never been that into light novels or anime, but something about Princess Luna really gets me. It was through Princess Luna, in fact, that I got into Elf Forest. I was walking back home from work, minding my own business, when I saw this cardboard standee of her set up outside our local Kinokuniya to advertise the release of the third light novel in the series. I laid eyes on that life-size Luluna cutout in all of her sweet purple-haired glory, and I think I fell a little bit in love. I simply had to go into the store after that to check out the series from which so perfect an angel descended. I bought all 3 volumes of Elf Forest and tore through them the moment I got back home. I've been a die-hard fan ever since. I've tried to tell my friends about how amazing Elf Forest is, but none of them are particularly interested. They don't understand Luna's appeal like I do. Luna's a shy girl and she's often anxious, but she does her best to run her country regardless. She cares greatly about her people, and she's kind to a fault. Her scummy advisors are always trying to take advantage of her. Fortunately, Itsuki is there to support her. Itsuki and Luna make such a cute couple. Their relationship is even more developed than those you'd see in TV dramas, and Elf Forest is supposed to be an fantasy series with some action elements. If Itsuki ends up with Astro Luce instead, I swear I'm going to lose it. Mayo? Oh, Nina sounds fed up. I must have been spacing out. This tends to happen when I think about Elf Forest, Luna in particular. Mayo, what is it? You've gone silent. Yeah, sorry about that. I was just thinking. About Princess Lunara? That's Luna! I told you so many, like a dozen times. Whatever. Would it kill Nina to be less dismissive about the world's greatest work of fiction ever created? Never known what it's like to go that far about any piece of media that I enjoy greatly. Maybe I just don't have that boundless optimism. If I did, I lost it long ago. Sorry, that was a little bit deeper than I planned to be in that moment. Kokoro, the pillow book, held the tale of Genji. Get out of here. The Forest of the Elves and the Pressured Princess has them all beat. Are these like references to something? I don't know. So what did you want to talk to me about? Oh, it's amazing. You'll never guess. I'm sure you're right. I would never guess, and neither do I want to. You should just come out and tell me. It'll save us the time. What? That's no fun. I don't want to sit here playing guessing games. I want to have a bath. Like I said, hurry up. Okay, I pout. Trust Nina to suck all the enjoyment out of this. You almost sound like you don't want to be friends. Oh well, I'm in a super good mood. I won't let her negativity hurt me. This might sound unbelievable, but... I pause for dramatic effects. Not that it really seems to be working. Nina's yawning again. I'm going to meet Tsuchimi Rui next Monday. Huh? I'm pretty stoked by this announcement, and that's an understatement. Nina doesn't seem to realize how monumental it is. I detect from the other end of the line mild confusion, with perhaps a hint of annoyance. Did I make a mistake? Maybe I let Rui's real name... Maybe I let slip Rui's real name rather than their pseudonym. There's no reason for Nina to know about any Komikado Hijiri, but... Who's Tsuchimi Rui? What? I recoil aghast and then cry out. Nina, please! Don't tell me you don't know who Tsuchimi Rui is! I don't, or I wouldn't be asking. Are they a singer or something? No, they're not. They're a writer. The writer of The Forest of the Elves and the Pressured Princess. Oh, right. There's a pause. Then Nina scoffs. That title is like way too long. What was the author thinking giving this series such a dumb name? Can't be that dumb, or the series wouldn't be so popular. Anyway. Clear my throat. Aren't you happy for me, Nina? This is incredible, right? Rui's my idol. It's not every day a girl gets to meet her favorite celeb, you know? It is kind of cool, I guess. It'd be cooler if this really was a handsome actor or an idol or whatever. I don't get the hype myself, but I guess I'm happy for you. So how'd this meeting come about? It's because of my Aunt Sai. Get this, Nina. She's Tsuchimi Rui's publisher. She is? Yeah. I knew she was a publisher, but I had no idea she works with light novels and stuff. I figured she only dealt with serious adult novels, like detective fiction or whatever. All this time, my aunt's been nagging my favorite actor. I had no idea. Feels like the world, as I know it, has shifted. Or something. It's insane. And your aunt arranged for you to meet him? Kinda, yeah. It's, A bit more complicated than that. I don't know how much I can tell you. Some of this info might be confidential, but Rui's been looking for a housekeeper. My aunt thought I might be a good fit for the job, so she suggested me. I'm going to Tsuchimi Rui's house on Monday to check it out. If they like me, I'll become their live-in maid. I make a conscious effort to fudge my pronouns while delivering this news. The only time... I can't believe I'm saying this. The only time you want to misgender someone to protect their highly secretive celebrity status identity. That they... I'm just thinking about what I said, and if there's any holes in that logic. I always assumed, like most other denizens of the net, that Tsuchimi Rui was a guy. Now I know Rui is in fact a girl called Hijiri. But that's... why did I turn monotone? But that's supposed to be a secret. I don't want to let that slip to Nina. I doubt she'd care about Rui's gender. I doubt she'd even remember it, but I want to try and respect Rui's or Hijiri's privacy. There must be a reason why Hijiri's been keeping her gender on the down low. This job will pay way better than my current one at Blue Mountain, and I'll be able to spend time with my idol. It's like I'm being paid to have my dreams come true. What do you think, Nina? I'm so excited and positively bouncing up and down on my bed. This is cool, right? It's really, really cool. It's certainly unexpected. I wonder what Nina's doing on the other end of the line. Is she shaking her head? Do you think Rui will like you? I don't know. I'll have to wait and see, but I sure hope so. Can't think of anything else I'd rather do. I wish you luck then. Although... It seems like a strange fit. Can't imagine you as a housekeeper. You don't even like sweeping up at Blue Mountain. How are you gonna look after this whole ass house? I'll make it work somehow. I don't like cleaning, but I know all the basics. My mother taught me well. I kinda resented her for it in the past, but now I'm super grateful. I can do the dusting and washing up in the laundry no problem. I even know how to get the stains out of carpets. Shouldn't be too hard. I think you're, like, underestimating things. If this Rui's half as popular as you say, I bet he'll be living in a huge house. That's a lot of cleaning for one lazy girl to handle. Maybe so, but I'll do it. I'd push boulders up a hill all day if that's what Rui wants. Wow. Nina whistles. Again, pretend I can whistle. You really are obsessed. I am. I'm like Tsuchimi Rui's #1 fan. Of course. None of this might matter if Rui doesn't like you. You might not get the job. Maybe not, but I'm trying not to think about that. The thought of being rejected by my favorite person in the whole world is a painful one. I think it'd be for the best if I didn't ponder this possibility for the sake of my mental health. I've always thought it pointless to worry about the future, and my life's mantra applies readily here. I don't know what tomorrow might bring, so I won't think about it. It's simple. So what happens if you do get the job? Will you have to move? Yeah, Rui lives out in the countryside. I can't say exactly where, but it's like a 4-hour train journey away from Tokyo. Wouldn't be feasible to commute. So you'd be leaving your parents' place? Uh-huh. Your mother must be happy about that. Yeah, she's totally for it. I think she's sick of having me at home. Sounds like everybody would be happy then. You got the job? I wish you luck. Although... I grin. Will you miss me, Nina? A little, I guess. You are kind of fun to talk to, all this elf forest crap aside. But more than that, I'm pissed. Huh? What about? Going to have to take on even more shifts at Blue Mountain until the boss hires somebody to replace you. And you already owe me for letting you off work half an hour early this afternoon. I hope you're planning on reimbursing me after you become rich, Mayo. I'll be waiting. I can hear the smirk in Nina's words, though I can't see her face. It's a super cute pair of heels I've been after since, like, last summer. Can't afford them right now, but I'm sure you wouldn't mind treating me, would you? Isn't that what friends are for? Man. The weekend passes in the blink of an eye, and soon the fated day... the fated day trademark... I always use this as a joke. I never thought it would be in the self-advertised comedic Yuri lesbian romance novel. But that's... I'm all for it besides. I wake on Monday bright and early and splash my face with cool water in the bathroom. I clean my teeth, brush my hair, and pull on a cute outfit I prepared the night before. I already packed my bag in advance with some of the essentials I'll need to spend the night away. Hijiri lives in the countryside in a small remote village. It takes 4 hours, give or take, to arrive at her village, with 3 changes along the way, and that's without factoring all the time spent waiting for connections. Without? Goddamn. Since so few trains stop at Hijiri's village, Sai determined it was unfeasible for me to make a round trip in one day. I decided instead that I should stay the night with Hijiri regardless of whether or not she agrees to take me on as her housekeeper. I'm sorry, it's such an awkward arrangement, Mayo. Sai apologized to me while we were hammering out the finer points of my schedule. I'd pay to put you up in a hotel, but there aren't any in the immediate area. Hijiri's village is really out of the way. Fortunately, her home is more than large enough to accommodate you. I'll tell her to prepare a guest bedroom. I know she has several. Several guest bedrooms is crazy. Commoner thoughts. Hashtag, I don't know. Is that alright? Naturally, I reassured Sai that everything was A-okay. That's totally fine. I don't mind spending the night here with Hijiri. I'll have to get used to living under a roof if she does hire me. And, if she doesn't, it'll still be a fun experience. Though it would be somewhat bittersweet. I just don't want to spend one night in Hijiri's care. I want to spend the rest of my life with her. Just kidding. Unless... Realistically speaking, it'd be a bummer to spend the night with Hijiri only to pack my bags and go home the next day, but I'm hoping that won't happen. For some luck, my unerring love for Elfra should shine through during my job interview. I'll do anything for you, Mistress Hijiri, I'll tell her. I'll even lick the dirt from your feet if that's what you want, if only you'll permit me to remain in your august presence. August? Is that... I'm hanging over this more than more than the freaking, super gay statement that I had to read earlier. Which, you know this... you know where my priorities lie, and why it's disgusting. I think that should do the trick. I'll make my devotion so apparent, Hijiri will have no choice but to hire me. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I'm feeling quietly confident about my chances. I'm glad you're in such high spirits. I distinctly remember Sai saying that while we were discussing things. You'll need to take a change of clothes with you on your trip. Don't bother packing too much. It'll be a hassle to hold a huge suitcase around, and you mightn't be staying more than a night. Bring the bare essentials. If Hijiri does give you a job, I can deliver you the rest of your things in my car later if you need them. She even drives, despite living in a busy city, living and working in a busy city like Tokyo. I've been to that city. You like, there's freaking walkways. They don't. They never have less than 5 cars lining up at any given time. There's crosswalks are always crosswalking. That's the advice Sai gave me, which I think was pretty prudent. There's no chance Hijiri won't hire me, of course. I'm trying to think positively. But I don't want to haul all my clothes around with me. The journey ahead of me is a long, complex one full of changes. Lugging around large suitcases on public transport is always a nightmare. Real. Yeah, I also know that from experience. I don't want any of my fellow passengers tutting at me. Moreover, I'll have to walk a bit to get to Hijiri's home. She lives on the outskirts of her village, about a 20-minute walk away from the station, down a cruddy, twisty-turny countryside road. I know because Sai texted me over the details last night. It's a sultry summer's day, and creating a massive wheeled case around, and cutting a massive wheeled case around with me for almost half an hour would make me sweat. It's in my interest to put my best foot forward when meeting Hijiri. I want to make a good first impression. Reading her all red-faced and out of breath absolutely will not cut it. It'll be a total disaster. Acting light is indisputably the way to go. It's the best way to ward off any unfortunate happenings. That's what I think at least, but my mother seems less convinced. Are you sure you have everything you need for your trip? That bag looks awfully small. I have everything I need, Mom. Don't worry. I can't help but worry. I'm your mother. Did you remember to bring a change of underwear? Of course, Mom. I'm not a child. What about your phone? Your wallet? Your keys? Check, check, check. All the important stuff's in this pouch at the front. At my messenger bag for good measure, which is resting on the chair beside mine. My dad isn't here to see me off. He had to head to the office early to sort out some work-related emergency. He did say goodbye before he left, though, and wished me luck. My dad's pretty chill. I wish my mother could follow in his example, but... You put all your valuables in that front pouch? My mother's look of disapproval deepens. That doesn't sound very safe. You'll be a prime target for pickpockets. You should put your purse somewhere more secure. You'll be fine, Mom. I've used this bag a lot and I've never been pickpocketed before. Maybe not, but there's a first time for everything. Move your purse at least, Maya. Sure, sure. I acquiesce to my mother's wishes, as I often do when she gets on my case. It's easier to do what she says rather than argue things out. I don't want to get into a fight over something so petty. There, I moved my purse. Is that better? Marginally. Not sure why you brought that messenger bag, though. Don't when we have that wheeled travel bag. It's bigger and there's more compartments. Wouldn't you rather use that? I thought about it, but I'm not bringing that much stuff. Besides, it's so big, it's a pain to cart around on the trains. Well, whatever you say. I'm sure you know best. Why does that feel so... My mother sniffs in a way that suggests she doesn't really think I know best. Yeah, yeah. She's good at being passive-aggressive. If it was an Olympic sport, I'm sure she'd win a gold medal. And your toothbrush? Your toothpaste? Your hairbrush? Yes, Mother. Your phone charger? Mm-hmm. You know exactly what trains you have to catch? Sai sent me the itinerary yesterday. I've looked at it so many times I've got it memorized. Do you want me to recite it? That won't be necessary. I'll try to have faith in you. Condescending is the word. I get that notion every time I look at the side, at the little profile on the bottom left. Gee, that makes a change. Now, don't take that tone with me, young lady. I'm just looking out for you. You should be grateful. This is the best opportunity you've ever had. I don't want you squandering it by getting on the wrong train and ending up in, I don't know, some rice paddy somewhere. That would be disastrous. I won't end up in a rice paddy, Mum. I'm sure I'll pass them on my journey. Hijiri's home is way out in the sticks. That's an interesting thought, come to think of it. I'm a city girl through and through, and I don't think I've ever seen a real rice paddy before. I know of rice as something you can buy in bulk at the supermarket in these huge 5-kilogram bags. God damn, I usually stop at like 1 kilogram. Actually, I've seen bigger around. I eat rice almost every single day, at breakfast and at dinner, but I've never seen it out in the wild. It would be better if Sai could have driven you there instead. My mother laments with a sigh. I wouldn't have to worry about your sense of direction, or lack of. It's a shame she was so busy this morning. It'll be fine, and I'll be fine too. I promise I don't need Auntie Sai to hold my hand. I'm not a baby. I can handle myself just fine. I hope you're right. My mother shakes her head, then looks at the food arranged on the table. She always goes all out with breakfast. She says it's the most important meal of the day. Yeah, but she made even more of it than usual today. This lavish feast must be on account of my upcoming journey. She's trying to shore up my stamina. It's nice of her, but... Aren't you going to eat, Mayo? You barely touched your food. I'm not very hungry. I've been picking at bits and pieces of my food like a bird, but I can't taste any of it. The white rice fresh from the cooker might as well be cotton balls. The miso soup water. I'm so keyed up, it's a real effort to make myself swallow. My stomach feels like it's full of fluttering butterflies. I feel like a teenage girl in love, sucking herself up before confessing to her crush. In a sense, I am a girl in love. I absolutely adore Elf Forest, and I adore the author who created it. Tsuchimi Rui, or Komikado Hijiri, is my favorite artist of all time. Her work never fails to make me smile. Being able to see her at all feels like a dream. Everything pales in comparison to my meager expectations. The sight of my ordinary kitchen, the smell of fried mackerel my mother cooked, the taste of her nourishing miso soup. Nothing but background noise. Really, I want to be up and out of the door ASAP. Can't wait to finally meet my idol. There's no chance Hijiri will love me as much as I love her, but I hope she at least likes me. That would make not only my year, but my entire life. We have reached our final destination, where the train terminates. We advise all passengers to check their belongings before stepping off the train. I have no idea how that sounded on the actual stream, but I can only hope. Once again, we have reached our final destination. Finally, thank goodness. I sling my messenger bag over my shoulder, which was lying on the unoccupied seat beside me, and get to my feet. I've been sitting for so long my legs feel numb. Pins and needles shoot through my body and the soles of my feet are tingling. I'm in such a hurry to get off the train I stumble. Fortunately, I'm able to right myself before I go tumbling to the ground like a clown. Honk honk. That'd be a pretty sucky way to end my journey. Though even if I had fallen, it wouldn't have mattered that much. My face might have taken a bit of a bruising, but my pride would remain more or less intact. It's not like there's anybody else in the train compartment to judge me for my clumsiness. I'm the only person here. There are a few people sitting with me during the prior stops, but the last of them, a kindly-looking old woman, got off at the previous station with a smile and a wave. For the final 20 minutes, trundling through rice paddies, I had nobody for company save me, myself, and I. All three of them? Wow. It made for quite the relaxing journey, but it was also kind of weird. I've lived in Kawasaki all my life, which is a stone's throw away from Tokyo. It's not in Tokyo proper, but the trains are always jam-packed with businessmen and women regardless of the hour. Never had a whole train compartment to myself before. Never even considered that such a thing was possible. It really felt, during those final 20 minutes, like I was being spirited away into a different dimension, a dream world. Now I feel all disoriented. Time doesn't seem to be functioning as it should. Oh, and then there's that familiar bug sound that you see in every game in like an open field. It was in freaking Animal Crossing New Leaf. I recognize that sound anywhere. There is actually some slight variance to it. Some slight variance. I'll take another drink. Y'all can just like take in the what was that? Oh. Y'all can take in the noises. Man, there are a few times I've taken the, like, there's like 2/3 of my entire drink bottle down in one stream. Sometimes I just forget to drink it, but today it felt warranted. I set off at 8:15 and now it's 2:05 PM on the dot. Where'd all that time go? It feels like it vanished. I was supposed to arrive a little after 1 PM, but my travels took longer than anticipated. There was a hold-up during the last leg of my journey. The train was halted for half an hour, apparently because a wild Cerro had been spotted hanging out on the tracks. The train had to brake so the Cerro could be shooed away to safety. Train delays aren't uncommon occurrences in and around Tokyo, but they're never caused by wild animals, let alone Cerro. Okay, now I have to... Sorry, I have to look up what that one is. Cerro... On 4 species, medium-sized goat-like or antelope-like animals, like both of them at once. Go to images. These are all different animals. I suppose the Japanese one would be more relevant. No, they're still all different animals. Like... Hang on. How do I add... Oh, it already appeared on the stream screen. I taught myself to do this on the fly just so that I could show you, like these are different animals. Like, do you see what I'm getting at right now? Why am I obsessing over Cerros in Cerro? Why am I obsessing over these goat antelope creatures in a Yuri visual novel? How do I zoom in? I'm not thinking that far ahead. I have to delete that. Actually no, keep it there for future reference. Back to the freaking Yuri. Alright. Breaking new ground today. For the stupidest reasons possible. I don't think the businessmen I see over at KQ Kawasaki Line would much appreciate having their schedules disrupted in such a way. The handful of people waiting in my compartment didn't seem to mind too much, though. The youngest woman to my left continued reading her paperback, and the older woman behind me struck up a conversation with me. She asked me where I was going and what my plans were, and she offered me candy. She was like your stereotypical kind of grandpa. Damn it! I'm a pride traitor! Oh my god. I'm having a very unhappy Pride Month because of this moment. Oh my god. Anyways. I wondered briefly why nobody seemed more frustrated at this long delay in the service, but then I figured they were probably used to it. Time seems to pass more slowly out in the countryside. People will take things at their own pace. They live amongst the mountains and the forests, coexisting with nature, and sometimes wild deer or Sarah get in the way, but you gotta learn to accept it. It's the circle of life. It's something like that. Imagine if I sang it so good I get DMCA'd. That would never happen. I would hope that would never happen even if I was perfectly on note. But I've heard... I just vaguely heard horror stories of, like, not even being able to say its name before getting cursed by the gods of whoever owns that property. Journey wasn't too bad, I guess, but I feel relieved to finally get off the train. Now I can finally meet Hijiri. All my dreams are on the cusp of coming true. Really, though. I wasn't kidding when she said this place was remote. I stuffed my phone back into my pocket. Hang on, can I... Is there a way to... There it is. Where? wear pockets. But look at the train station and call it rundown and dilapidated, why don't you? That would... The station building is this tiny thing made of wood and with a sagging roof that doesn't look very safe by any metric. I know, the city train lines always have barriers and like automatic doors in between where you with the train door and where you enter on the platform. I was thinking we could have more of those. Like we could have more of those in like just in general, but I think it would make places a lot safer. I don't know the exact statistics, but it would at least give me peace of mind, and that precedes everything, definitely, absolutely, positively. I think one good gust of wind would be enough to reduce it to firewood. When was this place built anyway? 1900? There's absolutely no way it would pass a modern health and safety check. The platform I'm standing on, meanwhile, is equally uninspiring. It's basically barren, besides one lone wooden bench, which I wouldn't sit on if you paid me. The screws holding the bench together are rusty with age, and it looks ready to fall apart. There's a sign next to the bench with the village's name emblazoned on it. It's the most modern thing about this station, but that's not saying much. They had the time to update that sign, surely, I don't know. The sign's all discoloured from age, and it's hard to pick out the individual characters beneath all the accumulated grime. As far as signs go, it's completely useless. There's no way to be able to read it from the train. The station's so tiny it only has one train track. The track's all overgrown with weeds and tall grass, which is pushing up through the gaps in the rails. Wonder how many trains this station sees a day? Maybe one or two? Can't imagine they get much traffic. No wonder the station this clearly underfunded and underused is still open. It seems like a massive money sink. Oh well, I'm still grateful it exists. If it weren't for this station, it'd be even harder for me to meet up with Hijiri. I'd have to take a bunch of buses instead, out of the sticks, or I'd have to hire a car, which comes with its own complications. This is pretty convenient, the wild Sero aside, though it does make me wonder. How does anybody live out here without going crazy? It's so cut off from the rest of the world. The nearest town's like 20 minutes away, and that's by train. The roads here are awful, and if the station's anything to go by, I can't imagine there's much to see. I doubt there's any real shops even. I pull a face. I'd be a crazy recluse to willingly live out here. I wonder what that says about Hijiri. Oh, the village looks a little nicer. Oh wow, this place is even deader than I thought it'd be. I wander aimlessly through the streets, my messenger bag slung over my shoulder. I've been walking for about 10 minutes now, and have yet to detect any signs of life. The train station was deserted, and the rest of the village seems to be following suit. I haven't passed any dog walkers or joggers or families out enjoying the sunshine. It's so ominously quiet, I can hear the pounding of my own heart. Its repetitive thrumming mingles with the plaintive cries of the cicadas, secreted away in the undergrowth, and the regular slapping of my shoes against the dirt. At least we got this non-diegetic music to kind of keep us on our toes. I passed several houses on my trek, but I haven't seen anybody lingering outside. This place is like a ghost town, or a village in this case. Is there much a difference? What's the population meant to be like anyway? Syed did tell me. Is it 400? 300? Those numbers are shockingly low as it is, but I'm fast starting to suspect the real number is a neat round zero. Naturally, I've not come across any shops since I've left the station, not even a small rundown convenience store with a humming cooler full of popsicles set up outside. I could sure go for a popsicle, or maybe an ice cream. The summer heat is relentless. I can feel it bearing down upon the crown of my head and my shoulders, so heavy it feels like a cloak. Sweat beads on my forehead and my shirt is beginning to stick to me. I feel gross. I spent hours picking out my outfit last night, and for what? I don't want to turn up at Juju's house looking like a dirty, dusty vagrant. That'd make an awful impression. I'm starting to fret. I know if my mother was here, she'd chide me for my concerns. You're putting the horse before the cart, Maiho. Worry about finding Kaju's home first before working yourself into a state about meeting her. The imaginary mother who dwells inside my head was right, of course. I wish she wouldn't nag me so much. I can't escape her, she's in my head. Oh my gosh, I need to get her out. I'm following directions given to me by my unquestionable overlord, the almighty map app which shall not be named, but it's not been helping very much. Wait. Yeah, I was having trouble connecting the dots between this and that, but yeah, you have to wonder what the reception's like around here. The little icon that's supposed to represent me keeps spinning around like it's been being rung through the washing machine, no matter how I try to orient myself. Yeah, I actually... Yeah, more personal experience talk. Even, like, in big cities with tall skyscrapers, it's terrible for, map apps as long as, it's terrible for map apps. You have that same kind of problem. What I've learned to do is just find a landmark, whether it be like an intersection, like a corner store, or just a clearing with a bench. Find that on the map, and then just work from there. That's basically how modern problems require modern solutions. Basically, I could have just said that. I feel discombobulated. Unsure if I'm going in the right direction. Doesn't help. The roads around here don't seem to have any names. Central Tokyo can be confusing, sure, for its high-rise buildings and its myriad branching walkways, but at least the city's planners have the decency to label everything. I'm not the best at directions, but I can get around easily enough. The numerous train stations, spaced apart a couple miles away from each other, if that helps a lot. Unfortunately, there aren't any stations out here other than the one I just embarked from. There don't seem to be any landmarks either, unless this old, disused telephone box on my right counts. I pause and check my phone for further guidance, but it doesn't help. The little me icon on my map is still freaking out, though I'm standing stock still. This village is so old-fashioned, almost antiquated. It seems to actively repel technology. My phone feels pretty incongruous when compared with some of the more old-fashioned homes I've come across. There are a handful of modern homes, yeah, but a bunch of them look like something plucked straight out of the Meiji era. Fortunate to know history, she's plucking names out left and right. At this point, I don't think I'd bat an eyelid if a contingent of samurai, am I using the right collective, walked on by. Stupid thing, why don't you work? Check my phone as that might shock my app to behaving itself. Of course it doesn't. The little icon that's supposed to detect me keeps right on spinning. You're just gonna make it doubly dizzy. Are you drunk or something? Phone, go home, you're drunk. Almighty phone map app that shall not be named, go home, you're drunk. I click my tongue. Maybe there's some kind of magic barrier set up around this place. Maybe I really have gone back in time. I know the most likely culprit behind my phone's non-compliance is a spotty signal. This place really is in the middle of nowhere, but it's more fun to consider the fantastical explanations. Magic or no, I really do feel lost. Wonder if this is how Itsuki felt when he was hit by that truck. When he came to in Cristaria, he was all dazed and confused. It took Itsuki a while to get accustomed to his surroundings, but at least he had Princess Luna to help him. Itsuki's so lucky. I sigh, then scuff the ground with my foot. I wish Luna would help me too. At this point, I'd consider forming a party with Astra or Luce, though neither of them are in my strike zone. They're cute enough though, and they're pretty helpful, Astra's tendency to blow hot and cold notwithstanding. Why can't she just be honest with her feelings towards Itsuki? It's been 8 volumes. She'd hurry up and confess to him so Itsuki can turn her down with a gentle smile and a kind, "I'm sorry, but there's actually somebody else I have feelings for." Astro's fans might not appreciate that, but it's obvious where the story's going to go. Luna has been set up as Itsuki's lovers from day one. Luna's the main, of course. The other girls are side dishes who exist to spruce up the meal. Astra and Luce, and Cornelia and Vita. Speaking of the side dishes, I'm starting to get hungry. I bought a pre-made lunch on the train, but I was so worked up I could only pick at it. Stomach's rumbling, my brow's sweating, and my friend still refuses to cooperate. I'm supposed to meet Hijiri around 2:30. It's already 2:20. 2:21, I only have 9 minutes left. I'm not late just yet, but things will end up that way if I don't hurry up. Now I'm really starting to panic. I try to reposition myself once more using my phone, but... It's all in vain. It's not working. Alright, fine. It's not like I needed your help anyway. Fucker. Had to throw it in there. Turn my phone off and stuff it back in my pocket with a grumpy harumph. If my phone won't respect me, I won't respect it. I'm through with playing nice. I'll just have to find Hijiri's home on my own. It'd be nice if there was a kindly passing pedestrian who could help point me in the right way, or a convenience store I could duck into it to ask for directions, but I'm out of luck. There's nobody in this tiny village, as I've already ascertained, and convenience stores seem to be a thing of mere myth. This village is many things, but it's not, as I've come to learn, remotely convenient. It'll be hard going it alone with nothing but my terrible sense of direction to rely on, but I'm sure it'll work out. These things always do, in the end. This village is so small, I'm sure I'll stumble upon Hijiri's home eventually. It's unlikely I'll get lost. What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen. 10 minutes later. Where in the world... Where in the world am I? I've only been walking for a little while, but somehow I'm even more lost than I was before. Will I ever make my way back to human civilization? This might be the end of the line for me. Even if I do escape from all these creepy sunflowers, a quick glance at my friend tells me I'm already late for my meeting with Hijiri. No way she'll ever hire me now. Forget about making a good first impression or even passable one. I haven't even come face to face with my idol yet, and I've already blown my chance. My mother was right to worry about me. I really am stupid. The anxiety mentality. Be like, what am I going to do now? An hour later. Am I finally here? Is this really Hijiri's home? After a good amount of backtracking and no shortage of getting lost, I finally found myself in front of a facade which might quite possibly belong to the famous light novel author Tsuchimi Rui, or Kamikado Hijiri. I've got to try and remember that. It'll be awkward if I get Hijiri's name wrong. The number on the front matches the address that Saya gave me, as does the general description of the house, but geez. This place is way more ornate than I imagined. Hijiri's house, if indeed it is Hijiri's house, towers over me. 2 impressive floors, all done in a traditional Japanese style with a black tiled roof and a load of lattice windows. The house isn't just tall either, it's freaking wide. Thick, you might say. I'm not a gambling person, but I bet you could fit my parents' teeny tiny Kawasaki home into this floor plan twice over. How many rooms does this place have? How many sliding doors? If the interior is as traditional as the exterior, I'll probably have a pretty open floor plan, with spacious tatami rooms, but even so. This place doesn't look like a house at all, not by my metric at least. As a city dweller, it looks way more like an inn, or maybe a hot springs resort. There's got to be a room in there for a karaoke booth, plus a bunch of ping pong tables. Never seen... Is ping pong popular in Japan? Off topic, but... Now I feel like I should look around for a vending machine or two. A bottle of brandless chilled soda is just what I need to ease my parched throat. A bottle of Pocari Sweat to ease your sweat. That was Pocari Sweat, my beloved. I glance about, but of course, I find no dispensary of soft drinks. That figures. What person would put a vending machine in their garden? Hijiri's house. Is it her house? Has a lot of garden. The house is wrapped up in it like a gift in a box. All swaying grass and what I think might be hinoki trees, festooned with green leaves. Never seen any house like this before, not outside of period dramas. Really does feel like I've stepped back in time. When were houses like this common? It has a real Meiji era look to it, like the village it's situated in, but I doubt many people have had houses look like this even way back when. It's way too extravagant. An average family would never be able to afford something like this. Especially nowadays. This is like a real samurai residence. I wouldn't be surprised to learn some feudal warlord who had lived here centuries past, ruling over all the little people. All the tiny people fitting in between my fingers like a little... I'm, getting off topic. Can you tell that I'm nervous about making good stream? Good stream. And not the kind you'd find in the river. Or, I shan't say it, but you know where. This place is amazing, but also kind of intimidating. I can hardly believe Hijiri has been living in the place all alone for years. Doesn't she ever get freaked out at night? The house is massive, all stuffed full of history. It doesn't help the back garden borders a crap load of spooky forest. I don't believe in ghost stories, but this place is giving me the shivers, and it's broad daylight. I hang back perturbed. But no, I can't afford to get cold feet, not now. I'm late enough as it is. I was supposed to get here almost 2 hours ago. Hijiri will be wondering where in the world I am. Probably too late to make a good first impression, but even making a bad first impression is better than making no impression. I got this. I can do it. I inhale, trying to steady myself, and head for what I think is the front door. More throat, sabotage. Hello? I rap upon the wood, which goodness knows is how many years old, my heart and my throat all the while. That's how it goes. Hello? Miss Komikado, are you there? I knock and I knock, but I receive no response. The house is as silent as an old black and white movie. This isn't doing much to placate my nerves. Let me try again. Miss Komikado? I knock again, louder this time, but still I hear nothing. There are no footsteps beyond the front door, no clicking of the lock. I frown. Did she step out? So I should have told her I was coming, but I did take an awfully long time to get here. Maybe she got tired of waiting. There's also the possibility that this house being as huge as it is, Hijiri simply can't hear me. Not if she's in one of the upstairs rooms. I wonder how well sound travels in this place. Probably would echo somewhat. Like the big open spaces. I shift from foot to foot, the back of my skirt stuck to my damp, sweat slick body. The sunlight continues to beat down on me. It's merciless. I feel like asking it if it'd mind taking a hike for like half an hour so as I can get my act together, but I know it's completely pointless. It's not like the sun has the capacity to listen to me. I must already look like a crazy person muttering to myself like this, without launching into a one-way argument with the sun. I guess it's a good thing nobody else is around other than cicadas. What should I do now? There's no point in standing around here, not if Hijiri isn't there to let me in. I'm just wasting my time with slowly getting sunburned. It seemed a shame to turn back though, after coming this far. I don't want my journey to go to waste, and I absolutely can't pass up the chance to meet Tsuchimi Rui. A bit of a long shot, but... hoping against hope, I reach out for the door handle, give it a tug, and to my surprise... Really? It offers no resistance. The door opens inwards, allowing me access into Hijiri's home. No way. I can't believe that worked, and so easily too. For a few moments I dithered hopelessly by the door. I didn't jimmy it open. Hijiri left it unlocked. But heading inside would feel like a step too far. I don't want to trespass on Hijiri's private property. This place is so old, it probably has a ghost or two. Angering the restless spirits seems like a pretty good way to go about getting cursed. Not that I believe in ghosts, of course, which is why I'm not going to do it. It's all nonsense. I should be vastly more concerned about Hijiri herself, or if she holds this against me. Entering her home uninvited doesn't seem like a great way to make her acquaintance, but I guess I've already messed up on account of being so late. Do things get any worse? I don't think so. I was expecting her to say that, like, as a prefix for something presumably going wrong. But we already did that bit, I think. Really, I try to reason with myself. I have no choice. I've got a job interview to get to, which can hardly go ahead if my host refuses to answer the door. It's not like I'm stopping by and announce. Hijiri knew I'd be coming here. I'm not a trespasser, and I'm definitely not a thief. My motives are pure. Nothing to feel guilty about, and I don't want to keep hanging about outside. The heat is intense. Alright, Mayo. I slap my cheeks with sweaty palms in an attempt to psych myself up. You can do this. Don't chicken out now. I let my arms fall to my sides and square my shoulders. I raise my head. Then with a purposeful inhalation of air, I take my first step inside Hijiri's home. The interior of her home is just as spacious as the exterior, and just as dated. The entrance hall is floored with smooth wooden planks, and the ceiling is supported by wooden beams. The place might be large enough to function as an inn, but there's no check-in counter by the double doors. Definitely a person's home. The shoes by the door and the coats on the rack attest to that much, but it's nothing like any home I've been in before. It really does resemble a samurai's residence. Wow. I exhale, enchanted by my surroundings. Wonder how old this place is. I feel like I should be paying a fee to look around here. I bend, then slide my shoes off at the front door, next to a pair of beaten-up sneakers, which presumably belong to Hijiri. These off-white shoes, scuffed from years of wear, look very out of place in the otherwise pristine entrance hall, as do the coats on the rack. If it wasn't for these choice items, the house would look almost unlived in. Where could my enigmatic host be? Maybe she'll appear if I call for her, like you would a cat. Here, Hijiri, come on, girl. Psst, psst, psst. Don't be shy, I won't bite. Come on. Yeah, maybe not. Seems unlikely. I banished that thought from my mind while walking through the hallway. You can see a whole bunch of sliding doors lining the hall, all of them tightly shut. Can't hear any noises emanating from them. I don't think Hijiri's on the ground floor. Maybe she's upstairs? Double back on myself to the grand staircase of the entrance hall and head up. Now on the second floor, I pause to scan my surroundings. The hallway up here is wooden too, with windows inlaid into the walls at various intervals. Sunshine spills into the hall, casting squares of light against the floorboards and cream walls. The house looks pretty clean from what I can gather, but not in the way my parents' home does. It's too clean to feel truly lived in. Less a home, more of a diorama. But wait, if it's that clean, why are we getting a housekeeper? I do see, however, when I pass a window that the sills are thick with dust. They need a good wipe down, and the window panes themselves are grimy. When was the last time they had a proper cleaning? Okay, there we go. Question answered. Make a mental inventory of the chores that you're doing as I search. All the doors here, like those downstairs, are shut. I can't hear any noise beyond them. Maybe Hijiri really isn't here. Or maybe she's asleep. Brown. This is getting ridiculous. If I'm to find Hijiri, I should probably launch a more thorough investigation. Now feeling like a detective at a crime scene, I approach the nearest door. I press my fingers into the shallow indentation on its left side, then draw it back. The door slides open with ease to reveal an empty room, all plain tatami floors and a few empty bookshelves. The tatami is aged and faded from sunlight, and spotted here and there with stains. These mats could use a good clean, or else a complete replacement. The room itself is barren. It's a bit depressing, actually. And of course Hijiri isn't here. I close the door behind me, then try another. It's the same story here, however, just bare tatami. Tell myself that third time's the charm and move on to the next room. The door slides open as easily as the rest, but the room beyond it couldn't be any more different. This is the only room in the whole house thus far which is obviously lived in, and quite thoroughly at that. The curtains in the room are drawn, which lends it to a dim, dreary appearance. Take a few moments to adjust to the murk, but when I do, I gasp. The floor is tatami, or at least I think it is. It's hard to tell given it's scattered with detritus, empty food packages, plates, and discarded clothes. There's a table set up in one corner of the room with 2 computer monitors and a fancy keyboard resting on it. There's a bin beneath this table, which is overflowing with yet more trash. The bed in one corner of the room, its sheets rumpled, and lying upon the bed I can see a young woman. I love reading. I got the reading trophy. The woman's wearing a baggy tracksuit which obscures much of her body, and her cheek is brushed against the pillow. She doesn't stir, even as I swim my way through the garbage ocean to her side. She's still and unresponsive, like a doll. Or maybe, think with a shiver, a corpse. Nah, surely not. Oh my goodness. Soft exclamation falls from my lips. It doesn't quite sum up the seriousness of the situation or the intensity of the emotions I'm currently feeling. Something very, very wrong with this woman. Her stillness seems almost unnatural. Maybe she was robbed. That would explain the unlocked front door and the messy room. I've seen scrapyards more orderly than this. Trespassers must have broken into Hijiri's home. They crept into her room and knocked her unconscious, or worse. They tore through her drawers, taking all the valuables they could find. Is that what happened? Doesn't sound too unlikely. You can't hear me tilting my head, but... if that's the case, I should call the police, or maybe an ambulance. What would be for the best? When did all this happen anyway? What if I'm too late? Hijiri? It descends upon the hopefully only comatose and probably not dead woman lying on the bed, who I now suspect is my potential future employer and the author of my favourite light novel series. Hijiri, are you alright? Answer me. I have enough self-awareness to ponder, though vaguely, it's probably a bit rude addressing Hijiri with such familiarity upon our meeting, but manners don't seem to matter too much. Corpses are notoriously non-picky about the way they're spoken to. Oh, and that's neat. So is my dog. Well, I mean... okay, that's false equivalence. She knows when I say her name, and when I'm happy to when I'm speaking happily to her. Isn't that right, dog? That's not her name. Oh, please don't let her be a corpse. Just let her be concussed. If I've learned anything from all the crime dramas my dad likes, is that the people who find the corpses are always on the high list of potential suspects. I must look super suspicious, especially since I left myself inside Hijiri's home. What if Hijiri really is dead, and I'm suspected of being the killer? I could go to prison over this. I don't want my life to be ruined. Relatable, sister. Hijiri, please, wake up, Hijiri! My fingers sink into Hijiri's slender shoulders. I shake her hard, as one might a ragdoll, until... A soft sound escapes from Hijiri's lips. It's a small sound muffled by her sheets, but is unmistakably a sound. She isn't dead after all. Oh, happy day. I too find this a joyous occasion when people aren't dead. Now, I won't have to call to the police, I won't get called in for questioning, and I won't end up in a cell, aside from the fact that I was just admitting to trespassing a moment ago. So happy I could cry, or kiss Hijiri, or both. Hijiri, oh thank goodness, thank goodness. Huh? What? Hijiri looks at me, only half awake. Who are you? Mayo. Takaoka Mayo. I'm so glad you're alright. For a while there I really thought you'd kick the bucket. I don't know what I'd do if you died. I don't want to go to prison. I can't get incarcerated before Elf Forest ends. I want to know who Itsuki ends up with. It'll be Princess Luluna, right? Some people prefer Astra, but they're all wrong. Astra's cute, yeah, but she doesn't have the same chemistry with Itsuki that Luna has. You agree with me, don't you, Hijiri? I'm sure you do. You're the one who made Princess Luna, after all. You must know how wonderful she is. Oh, Hijiri. My breath hitches in my chest. I was so accustomed with the fear that Hijiri, might have croaked. It didn't really click that she's the author of Elf Forest until now. If it wasn't for Hijiri, Princess Luna wouldn't exist, and I'd be much unhappier for it. I hear this woman a great debt. How can I tell her how much I love her? Gay alarm. I'm not author. Not like Hijiri, and words aren't enough. Oh, Hijiri, I'm so glad I met to meet you. I'm really glad you're not dead. I reach out, overwhelmed, meaning to pull my idol into a warm embrace. Get away from me, you creep! Stay back! But that, as it transpires, was a huge mistake. Juri shuffles away, then draws back her fist. I see a streak of movement in the periphery of my vision, and then... Oof! Oof! I'm trying to do the Roblox oof, but... There's a loud sickening crack. Takes me a few moments to recognize the crap comes from inside of me. Then a few moments more for the pain to register. Ow! Ow! Freaking ow! Such a diminutive woman, Hijiri sure can pack a punch. I guess this will be my future warning. Hijiri does not respond well to praise, and she certainly doesn't respond well to hugs. I'm gonna be seeing stars for a week. Can you believe it, everyone? 2 hours and 41 minutes in, we meet the two Yuri, the two lesbians, the two star-crossed lovers in this linear sort of visual novel game. Linear. Do I call it a game? Regardless, this is cause for celebration. I never thought I'd get this far. I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank the creators of this game for allowing me to get to this point. I physically couldn't do it without them. That's just a fact. Anyways. Goodness me. That's quite a nasty bruise. Are you alright, Mayo? Against all odds? Yeah, I think I'll live. I have a sigh, a weak smile. My forehead's still smarting after Hijiri struck me, but it doesn't quite hurt quite as much as it did during the immediate aftermath. The pack of frozen peas I unearthed from Hijiri's freezer helped. Yet the peas pressed to my forehead for a good 10 minutes, like a cold compress until the peas started to fall. Their purpose served, the peas were thrown away. Sai asked Hijiri if she wanted to keep a hold of them, but she harumphed, then shook her head and said, I can hardly eat them now. They've been tainted. I took offense to that remark, but Sai didn't seem particularly surprised, only disappointed. I doubt you were planning to eat those peas anyway. Imagine they've been in your freezer for months. Now pealess, but feeling decidedly unprincess-like, I'm sitting in Hijiri's spacious living room alongside Sae and Hijiri herself. I've yet to see my reflection in the mirror, but if Sae is to be believed, I don't see why she'd lie to me. My altercation with Hijiri wasn't without consequences. Hijiri must have left quite the bruise. I wonder how big it is. If it's not so noticeable, I can't cover it up with foundation. I doubt a large greenish-blue bruise smack dab in the middle of my forehead would do much to improve my looks. But if it never fades away, then I'll be ruined for marriage. This girl is a mess, and I approve, because so am I. Princess Luna will never fall in love with me then. Oh, the humanity! It's a good thing I arrived when I did, before things could escalate further. I shudder to think what would have happened without me. Same here. Hijiri might be small, but she's no slouch. She'd take me with all the force of a pro prize fighter. I was so seriously frightened for my life. You saved me, Sai. I'm always happy to help. I'd feel terrible if you got hurt, Mayo. Though I fear it might be too late for that. It's alright, I already said. You don't need to worry about me. I'm tough. Doesn't your head hurt? Kinda, but I'm sure it'll go away. I'm hard-headed, you know. That much goes without saying. Sai presses her lips together, concerned. I hope you don't feel obliged to put up a front. You should tell me if you feel unwell, then I'll drive you to the nearest hospital. It's not a problem. We're like a family, you and I. Gee, thanks. I'm getting all flustered. It's very nice of you, Sai, but it's fine. I'm fit as a fiddle. It'll take more than a single right hook to take me down. Flash Sai, a toothy grin and a peace sign, but it doesn't seem to reassure her. She tucks a few loose strands of hair behind her ear, then says, I hope you'll live. That'd be a difficult thing to explain to your parents. Miyako would never forgive me. She might thank you, actually, for doing her a favor. I know I annoy her. I wonder why. I think I heard Hijiri mutter something, but when I glanced at her, she's staring resolutely at the wall, her lips clamped shut. She hasn't said a word since Sai came to the rescue with a pack of roasted peas, despite mine and Sai's probing. She's not even looking at me. Three of us might be sitting in the same room, but Hijiri feels very far away indeed. Peer at Hijiri's face, it's hard to get a read on her emotions from her expression alone. It's blank like a sheet of unlined paper. Is she angry? Embarrassed? Socially awkward? Maybe I should try lightening the mood. Hey, Hijiri, you're not into boxing, are you? You nearly knocked my block off. I mean it as a joke, but it doesn't stick the landing. Hijiri's expression remains unwavering. Doesn't even try to smile. She does her but that's as far as reactions go. It's not a particularly illuminating response, but it does clear a few things up. I don't think Yuji's embarrassed about hitting me, and I don't think she's socially awkward either. I think she just plain hates me. Sad. Well, this is awkward. So, Sai clears her throat and begins to speak. I know you two might have gotten off on the wrong foot. Or fist. But please don't be too hasty in your judgments, Hijiri. I'm sure this is all a misunderstanding. Please allow me to introduce you properly this time. This is Kamikado Hijiri, otherwise known as Tsuchimi Yuri. She is the author of the popular light novel series Elf Forest, as you already know. Sai gestures to Hijiri, who hurries again. Her arms seem grafted together in a permanently crossed position, like that of a doll's. I don't know, man. Have you ever tried getting a doll to cross their arms? Or, like, properly cross their arms in such a position? And, like tuck them in as well, like one would when they cross their arms? I don't know, I haven't touched a doll in years. Her unchanging expression too is disconcertingly doll-like, as the rest of her. I don't get a good look at Hijiri in her dingy bedroom, but she can't hide away from the sun-drenched living room. The first thing I noticed about Hijiri, once the pain in my forehead began to subside, is how very small she is. She's kneeling right now, so it's hard to get an accurate read on her proportions, but I'm willing to bet she's a good head shorter than I am, if not more. I'm not all that tall myself, I'm only 5'3", but Hijiri must be teeny tiny. I can't believe she breaks the 5-foot barrier. Her hair is caramel colored. Two eyes are tied back in two messy buns, one slightly lower than the other. Currently in the middle of a heat wave, so it wouldn't be surprising if she had a tan, but Hijiri doesn't strike me as an outdoorsy type. She's much more down for the count than she is up and at 'em. Maybe she's only half Japanese. That would go a ways to explaining her striking appearance. It's not like I can come out and ask that question, though. That probably sounds insensitive. I don't want Hijiri to hate me more than she does already. Speaking of which, I should really stop staring at her. So shifts. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Hijiri? There's a long pause. Hijiri looks between Sai and I, her lips pressed into a thin line before replying. Not really. Right. I can see Sai's shoulders deflate. She's normally so cool, but Hijiri's detachment has managed to shake even her. Don't you want to tell Mayo a bit about your routine, or what you're expecting from a housekeeper? I don't want a housekeeper. I want to be left alone. I know you do, but that's not feasible. We've both discussed this. You did say you'd consider hiring a housekeeper, remember? Yes, I remember, and I did consider it. Though it mightn't be a bad idea initially, but... Jiri looks me over. Her expression is downright scathing. Do you really mean to palm me off with this girl? Is this a joke? What kind of qualifications does she have? I'm a hard worker. Are you now? Jiri raises an eyebrow. Would your previous employers be prepared to attest to that? Maybe, My voice trails away. I look at my knees and the tatami mats beneath them. Damn, Hijiri's sharp. Her words are even more cutting than a paring knife. Paring knife. What kind of knife is that? Any knife would hurt if you cut it hard enough. Maybe not, no. But I'd work hard for your sake, Hijiri. I wouldn't slack off, I promise. Call me Kato, please. What? Call me Kato. We're not nearly close enough for you to use my given name. We hardly know each other. Maybe you don't know me, sorry, call me Kato? Jeez, that's a long family name, such a mouthful. Everything about Hijiri thus far has been awkward, from her out-of-the-way house to her hard-to-pronounce name, but I'm prepared to weather any storm if it will get me closer to her. She can insult me and denigrate me all she wants, I won't care. It won't change how I feel about her. But I know you. Really now? Hijiri looks unimpressed. I would ask if you're a stalker, but that seems unlikely. Any stalker worth their salt would presumably know where my house is without getting lost on the way here. Ouch, that's... Damn. Harsh but true. She has a point, but she really have to phrase it like that? Speak up then. How do you know me? Did we meet in a dream? Not quite, I'm not crazy. Though Nina might disagree. Let me introduce myself. I'll take it from the top. Make it drop. That's, Takawaka Mayo. Auntie's a friend of my family. She's not my real aunt. I kind of see her as one. We're pretty close. I'm 24 years old. My birthday's in June, which makes me a Gemini. My blood type's AB. I like upbeat pop music, baking sweets, and reading manga. I hardly ever read books, and I never used to read light novel, but I saw the standee of Princess Luna outside my local Kinokuniya a few years back, and I was entranced. I bought all the Elf Forest volumes that were out because of Luna, and I've been a huge fan ever since. I see. You're a fan of Elf Forest, are you? That's right. That's why I wanted to work for you so badly. I've been looking forward to meeting you for ages and ages. Am I laying it on too thick? Well, since Sai told me about the job opportunity, which was last Thursday. It's only been 3 days since then, but I was so excited it felt like an age. I don't like cleaning very much if I'm being totally honest, but I know the basics. I can wash the dishes and do laundry, and I'm pretty good at cooking. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but my homemade cookies are pretty good. Even Nina thinks so. Cookies? Hijiri blinks. She was doing her best impression of a Jizo statue before. Cold and unresponsive. But now I see a definite interest flicker in her eyes. Was I able to get through to her? That's interesting. What about pancakes? Can you make those? Of course, they're like super simple. You only need eggs and milk. I could whip you up some pancakes right now if you want to test them. It's no trouble. It's fine. I'll file that tidbit away for future consideration. When Hijiri replies, her voice is cool, her eyes half-lidded. The spark of interest I detected upon her countenance has been snuffed out like a guttering candle. It's almost as if it never existed. He really is a cool customer. I suppose I appreciate your honesty, if nothing else. but I'm not sure if this is going to work out. You're a bit too enthusiastic for my liking. Can't we drop this, Sai? Thank Takaoka for her time, but tell her it simply won't work. We're much too different. Please, Hidori, don't be like that. You scarcely know Mayo. She's a good girl. Give her a chance. I know enough. She's a fan of Elf first. That speaks volumes. Is that a bad thing? It makes me question your tastes, yes. But you're the one who wrote Elf first. Shouldn't you be its #1 fan? Of course not. It wouldn't do to get conceited. There's always room for improvement. It doesn't seem like we have much in common. That doesn't bode well for our future cohabitation. We ought to call this off before we can come to blows. I think it's a good thing you're so dissimilar personally. You need to have somebody headstrong around, like Mayo, who will whip you into shape. Why does Hidori need whipping? Wouldn't you like to know? Oh, you'll find out soon enough. You spend any amount of time with her. Sorry I didn't tell you sooner, Mayo, before dragging you into this, but... Mayo looks at me apologetically. Hidori is something of a shut-in. She almost never goes outside and she hates talking to people. She keeps odd hours, and she doesn't clean up after herself. She hardly ever eats. I buy her groceries whenever I see her because I worry about her, but she never makes an effort to use them. The fridge is always weeks, if not months, past its sell-by date. No wonder she's so skinny. She lives on a diet of rice crackers and instant noodles. Sai clicks her tongue. She might be an adult, but she's more or less non-functional. Really am worried about her. It's not healthy letting her stay in a big house on her own. Terrified I'll come here one day to find her lying on her bed, stone cold dead. Yes. Wouldn't that be unfortunate? Judy tuts. You can't let your cash flow. You can't let your cash flow snuff it. You can't let your cash cow snuff it. That'd be bad for business, especially with the Elf First anime coming up. I bet it's going to make a lot of money. That's all I've been hearing about for months. Ichiri. Sai winces. It's not just about the money, you know. I have thoughts about Ijiri, but I'll get into that sooner than later. So it's partially about the money then. Partially, yes, but there's more to it than that. Even keeping an eye on you is part of my job, but I'm genuinely concerned. I hate leaving you here in this tiny village all on your own. You need to stop pushing people away. If you don't get some human interaction, you'll go crazy. So that's what you think. I'm sorry, Sai, but you're mistaken. You don't understand me half as well as you think you do. I can tolerate you, but you're an exception. I don't like people as a rule. It's talking to them that makes me go crazy, not spending time on my own. I quite enjoy my own company. I don't need a housekeeper, and I definitely don't need a babysitter. I'm 28 years old. I do feel bad for dragging you out here, Takaoka, and I am sorry I punched you in the face. Though you are partially to blame for that. But I don't want you here. If you're after my money, you can take it. I'll give you a bunch of cash if you promise to leave me be. No, that won't do at all. Sai slaps her palm against Ijiri's table in an uncharacteristic display of agitation. I'm not going to let you drive Mayo away not that easily. You might need a babysitter, but you do need someone to keep you on the straight and narrow. Can't you give Mayo a chance? You're asking quite a lot of me. I never thought you'd find somebody crazy enough to live with me in this cruddy village. Sai grins. You underestimated my tenacity, Hijiri. Evidently, this is such a nuisance, but... Hijiri exhales. I can tell you're not acting out of malice. You really do seem to care about me, unlike some of the other vultures I've had to deal with. I'm not callous enough to throw your efforts back in your face, so... Alright. I'm not happy about this idea, but I can at least give it a try. I'll let Takaoka stay with me for a little while and see how we get on. Huh? Tai stares at Hijiri, her eyes wide. Do you really mean that? You're going to give Mayu a chance? Against my better judgment, yes. Her cleaning skills seem dubious at best, but she shouldn't be completely useless, not if she's ain't good in the kitchen. Can you make more than cookies and pancakes, Takaoka? Oh yes, I'm pretty good with meals. My mom taught me the basics when I was a kid. I can boil rice, make miso soup, prepare a whole bunch of side dishes. Hamburg steak is my specialty. I top it with demi-glace. I top it off with food sauce to make it all shiny, and I serve it with veggies. I'm not a big fan of vegetables. Honestly, me neither, but I understand and acknowledge their importance. Of course she isn't. That explains why those frozen peas were shunted to the back of her freezer for so long, still sealed. But I do like Hamburg steak. I'll make you the best Hamburg steak I can. I'd do anything for you, Hijiri. Accept my wishes, evidently. I told you not to call me that. Oh, sorry. It was a slip of the tongue. I meant to say Komikado. That tongue of yours does seem awfully loose. You'd best be careful or it might get you into trouble. Still, if we're going to live together, even for a trial period, you might as well dispense with the formalities. You can call me Hijiri, and I'll call you Mayo. Is that alright? Of course it's alright. It's so alright, you don't even have to ask. Oh geez, I'm so happy I can feel grateful tears beating in the corner of my eyes. I have been accepted by Hijiri. Next step is to get it to like me. And the step prior to that is to not get any physical beatings from her. But we take it one step at a time. Marriage comes at the end, but we'll work towards that. From this day forth, I'm going to live under the same roof as my idol. I'll have to show my wish for world peace right now. My bigger, more important wishes come true, despite the bumps and bruises I sustain for it, and I wouldn't want to ask too much else of the universe. Might sound like an exaggeration, but I'm being earnest when I say that this really is the best day of my life. Despite the beatings. I would say 3. I did not remotely reach my expectations for this stream. It's been oh, it actually tells you the date of the save. I don't know why are there so many save slots. They want you to save all of your favorite scenes, I guess. Okay, I did save my progress though, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's okay, you can't see it clearly. I thought maybe the gallery would have, like, character art, but that's clearly not it. Are these really all the songs? I'm only missing 2 and I've only read anyway. My thoughts so far. Pretty cute story. God, I can't believe I have to tack on another thing to tack on another series to finish off. Hopefully, but okay. My Mayo, perfect girl failure material. Lover already. I found a lot of her. It's surprising, really. It's perhaps I've gotten too old, but part of me finds her like not caring about the future relatable, but at the same time, not like not aspirational enough, like for in terms of like where future happiness and plans are concerned. Not that I, though I guess I don't have much room to stand on. I'm spending my time talking to anyone on literally anyone I come across on twitch.tv. I'm doing that for my spare time. Yeah, but yeah, it's like, and I see people like raving about their their special interests. It's not something I can personally attest to understanding, especially if it's like something I'm not even really into. But that place that's I can tell that talk comes from a real sense of like love and appreciation and personal attachment to something. It's like I've said before. I don't remember if I said it on stream, but art imitates life. I've said that as a joke before, and also the other way around. Art imitates life. All of our experiences make us who we are, and we latch onto the things that connect to us. And I think, as far as the story has gone so far, I think they've done a good enough job, expressing that feeling. As for Hijiri, I honestly, it's weird because I see a bit of my past self in Hijiri, choosing to be a shut-in, not really wanting to speak with others, except for maybe a few choice people. I think I'm predicting at least that the direction the story will take is that it's because she doesn't realize she needs socialization, because she's never met someone who really listens to her and understands her deeply. Or maybe she's just too far down the line to really appreciate it. That's just me speaking from personal experience. But I can tell you, as a former shut-in, you gotta get some socialization in somewhere. Might lead to the best thing you've ever had.